What a wonderful day. What a wonderful time to be back here with you guys all over the world. Welcome to our 169th broadcast here in the Issues Room, the alternative social media platform here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on Issue Room page on Facebook. We say thank you for coming through tonight, wherever you are. Welcome, welcome to this broadcast. We know that a lot of time people say based on your time zone, it could be in the morning, it could be in the afternoon, or it could be, nighttime. But on our end, it's about um, a little past 7 o'clock on the East Coast in the United States of America, precisely the state of Pennsylvania. We say thank you for joining us, Hashim Fambule. Good that you can be here as the first person tonight. We're looking forward to a lot of folks. When I say the first person, meaning the first person that is chatting here with us tonight. We have other folks according to the numbers right now. You're watching from Allentown. Share the link, share the word, invite others to join us here tonight. We have a jam-packed conversation. As you and I know, so many things happened over the last 24 hours in Liberia. And so the panel is here to discuss. I have Alfonso Yeno, who is right here with me. Welcome, Alfonso. I also have Samuel Abu, who will be joining us here again tonight, and Moses Sandy might join us at some point. But, gentlemen, welcome to the 169th edition. Fergie Moyu, good to see you, brother. Welcome. As soon as you speak of the devil, the imp appear. You guys know that saying? You speak of the devil and the imp appears. Moses Sandy is the devil. No, 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 no. Satan is the devil and Moses Sandy is the imp. As soon as I say he might be
Yeah,
joining us, here he comes. Gentlemen,
yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having a
Thank
little
you.
I
bit
mean,
of
you
Thank
know,
you,
your
last
time.
Volcano.
time you can't jump inside the conversation. You need to be silent in court. Let if other people who were here on time. You're late, come on, then you want to jump on and start talking before your man. Get them courtesy.
Okay, okay, Chief.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, my man.
Justin.
Yeah. Technology was giving me a little bit of problem. Yeah, but we're
Same
okay
thing
now.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Justin.
Yeah. Jamel, go ahead.
Alfonso, you muted yourself. I didn't do that.
Yeah. No, I was saying, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm happy to be here with you guys. I think there's a lot of great, well, I shouldn't say great. There's a lot of things happening in Liberia and even in the diaspora, that will make really great conversation. Forgive me if I'm a little sluggish tonight. The
Mm.
people pumped me with a lot of needles today at the doctor's office. So they say
Okay.
I got to take, I'm behind on quote unquote vaccinations. I don't know what it means. So,
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't do your yellow
I'm not
police.
taking your booster and thing, right?
Hold on, what's it? And then the yellow boy, I just read season. I don't even know you took it. We don't
the
go there.
yellow board, they
This
don't
is
give
my
you
man
nothing.
go, man. Yeah, so you drop your little team and man and say, my man, you can give it back.
So now the reality
There
hit
you
the
go.
man again. Yeah, beat so now
I know. When I come here, I take no vaccine, my man. So the person you got to take, oh.
Samuel,
Man.
I used to not quiet so wait, you
I
have
know I'm
brother?
just listening to other Alfonso talking. Uh,
Okay.
want to say thanks to everyone who listening tonight and viewing this show, The Issues Room. I'm glad to be here, and I know that we are going to be discussing a lot of good things and some of the trending issues in our country, Liberia, and around the world. We are happy that you are here with us tonight, and please join us, share the views, share the link to other friends, and let them come over and let us join us. Let's discuss what is going to be discussed. Volcano and Moses, I want to say thank you for inviting me, and I hope we'll be having a good time tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Abu. Thank you for coming. And let me join the group too by welcoming all of our many viewers out there. Wherever you are, I want to appeal to you to please help us share the link. We want you to invite more people because tonight we have come again to educate, educate, educate. Our country, the prevailing situation in our country is reprehensible. And there's a need, critical voices continue to educate, educate, and call a spade a spade. So that's how I would like to enter the issues room tonight, Volcano.
Why did you wear the hat?
I
Look,
almost asked that question.
the famous country hat.
Yeah, somebody asked me to wear my hat. The next time I come, I will come with my hat because that's when they get intimidated. And when they see me in my hat, wearing
All
my
that
hat.
time, all that time you can be on fire.
Yo, that time can be on fire. That time all the CDC people don't give it.
I mean, you feel special for the people. How about the other people? How about you people? You people don't be scared.
Well, the
I
CDC
beg you
people don't
now.
give it, man.
How about ANC people?
You know
How
what?
about LPP
You know
people?
what? All the politicians, that's the time they don't give it, as we say in
Yeah,
Liberia.
don't be. Yeah,
They
I'm
say,
not
"But
ready.
man, the
I'm
people
ready to
give
see.
it." Yeah.
All right, man. But guys,
Mhm.
thank you so much for coming through tonight. This evening conversation going to be a great one here. We're going to be looking at the Liberian Senate shutting down the confirmation hearing of the LAC or LACC commissioner designees who had gone to, be confirmed, but did not even declare their own assets as integrity institutions. So the men are going there from one room now. Sooner or later, we'll see them and they start having assets. So
Mansions
that was
going,
shut
yeah.
down. They say you'll go declare where you're coming to the position with. Then we're also going to be looking at the Liberia Revenue Authority Commissioner General's accordingly dismal performance at the road phone hearing at the Liberian Senate. They could not even tell the people how much money has been collected. He saying no, but he will get that information. Then they say, but you are coming here. This is a conversation. He say, but I know I was supposed to know that one there. Can you
Uh,
imagine that?
yeah.
Then we're also going to be looking at what does it mean for the CDC at this time? Does it benefit with all the acrimonies in the opposition camp? And these things are happening not only that the people at the helm of the party leadership, but you're talking about the stalwarts, the insiders, everybody's crossfiring. All of this hit. And it scares me, Moses, that and Alfonso and Sam, that when we cross the home over the first round and go to the second round, if one of these guys win, it means that it will be the same as in the southeastern leadership in Liberia. Then it's only ANC people will be in government or only Unity Party people. Because if you don't see everybody for what they bring to the table, competencies, qualification, Liberians in general, then we'll have this continued divide, which doesn't help our country in any way. Then we're also going to be looking at the ambassador's final speech to Liberia press conference, actually. And I know he was apologetic for using the word nonsense, but the context under which he used the word was appropriate because people, he said, had just signed an agreement and was going contrary to the agreement. That was the context, but he still became apologetic. But one thing he said struck, we'll discuss tonight. And finally, today, this morning, as I woke up,
That's a story.
I saw a footage with Spoon Network in Congo Town on the bypass being shut down by a sheriff from the civil court of Liberia. Later on, we got to know it was a lawsuit filed by the former uh, uh,
Deputy
the
Deputy
Director
Director
General of Legis,
alleges.
Wilmot Smith, and
Remote Smith.
accordingly, the government of Wilmot Smith.
Hmm.
Accordingly, the government of Liberia has no part to play. It's saying that it's a separate branch of government, and this is a civil matter, and they were not the one who shut down Spoon. But gentlemen, this is what we're going. These are rather what we're going to be talking about tonight. Let me say, Manisuma, welcome. Raymond Clark, welcome. Agnes Finda Samokai, welcome. And Thomas Awaji, thank you so much for being here tonight. Share the word, invite others to come in. But let's start from the ambassador, and then we'll come to Spoon. These are issues we're just glossing over before we go into the meat of our conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So,
yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
yeah, I was about to
Go
say
ahead.
from the
Yeah, yeah,
from
go
the.
ahead. Yeah.
So I wanted to throw out here from the ambassador. He went around everything he talked about. He said that he didn't have some very bitter moments in Liberia. He thought that Liberians are resolved to see the country go forward. But what was so surprising to him is how the government handled the sanctioned officials of government. He said, "We did all this work, we spent all this money." He asked the question, he was speaking, but then he asked him, and said, "Do you know rather how much it cost to do this kind of research and spend all this money to put an official of government on sanction? The grueling man hours, the resources put behind it, and then we can only say, listen, this is what we found. These are the evidence. You act on it." And it was a slap in the face to see that the government did nothing up to this point. But what is so surprising to him is that these political institutions embrace these people and have them now running in the party to represent constituencies that they claim to be supporting and a part of. Um, he said that your election is in your hands. America cannot come and enforce the laws in your country. We can only present the evidence to you and you act. But the citizens are the ones who should act. Gentlemen, I thought that was profound. And surprisingly, where we are, we still have our people don't know who they're going to go behind because everybody just look like they're running here. One minute you see CDC in regalia, another minute you see green color, another minute you see blue color, another minute. So where are we going with this? The ambassador has spoken. He said the country's progress is in its citizens' hands. Because if you're waiting for the government to act on your behalf, it's not going to act. Power is inherent in the people. But how they use the power is what matters. Who want to weigh in?
Look, this is how I would like to begin with reference to what the ambassador said. And I would like to come on a positive note first. I think the ambassador demonstrated leadership when he apologized to Liberians for the use of the word nonsense. And several Liberians, including myself, had a problem with the ambassador, the way he spoke. And when the leader, is in error, the leader acknowledges because later he realized that he was speaking to a different audience. He said, well, in America, we use the word nonsense when something just doesn't make sense. But in Liberia, it was taken at a different level. And he said, I apologize for what I said. And I think he should be applauded for that. He should also be applauded for championing the cause of social justice in Liberia, elevating the fight against dishonesty, against corruption in Liberia. That ambassador should go down in history as really standing up for the people of Liberia. And the ambassador made a very salient point when he said Liberia's
Let me
foremost
let me
problem.
let me quickly add that his
Mhm.
his apology was not stemmed from Washington pressuring
Oh, no,
him.
no, no, no.
I
Mhm.
just wanted to clarify that it had to do with how people have spoken with him in the context of Liberian
Y-
setting. That
Yeah,
man, you
white
know.
man, yeah,
And
So
how
that's why
Liberians understand the
I'm saying
word
the word
nonsense.
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 They
Yeah,
miss, they deviate, and instead tell you, "Oh, the man cussing us."
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So
that's what
for
I said. He demonstrated leadership because in our country, even when our people are in error, they don't apologize. They go along with I mean, they do that by being arrogant. They make you feel that they don't owe you anything. You owe them. And so the ambassador rather drew that distinction between how our leaders govern and what a good leader should be able to do when you are in the error. So back to what I was saying, the ambassador really elevated this whole thing about, fighting graft in Liberia. He said Liberia's foremost problem is corruption. Corruption has stifled everything in the country. And I pitied, the ambassador when he said that, look, we have done everything. We have identified individuals that we have records to show were they engaged in act that had the potential of stalling everything in this country. But Americans cannot come and tell you how to vote or what to do. And that is where, again, I will come high on the leadership. The Americans have done the investigating and predicated on that president. I don't know whether his decision was impulsive, but he asked McGill and the other to step aside. The ambassador says since then, there has been no effort from the administration to say, hey, we want to go further. You accuse these people. Where are the facts? We want to begin to probe into what you have gathered. No effort. Gentlemen, tell me. Let me localize this. It's like you have your son who is literally breaking into people's homes. And one of your neighbors come to you and say, hey, we have videos to show that your son is continuously breaking into people's home. You need to contain this. And you look the other way. After a couple of months, your son get arrested and thrown into prison. Who will you blame? This is what I'd like to put to you guys. The Americans have done what they needed to do. Nathaniel McGill is still walking the streets of Monrovia, walking the streets of Liberia, claiming to be the most wealthy person. In fact, he said he will build all the roads in Kakata. In fact, not Kakata, but rather Magibi. McGill, where are you taking all the money from? Bill Toure is running in reverses. Gentlemen, tell me, where are we? Let me stop there.
Abu,
And let me comment. The main thing and some of the problems that we have in Liberia is we have too many Liberians who like to act like they know too much. And sometimes we call them the Nukatis in the common parlance. People who go to school, the public depend on them to make sense out of nothing. But some of them are making nonsense out of something. And these things happen. The US government, as the ambassador said, spent a lot of money. The Liberians still need to learn a lot of things within their own environment. Those who are educated and even those who are people are learned, but they are not educated in our country. So they learn to twist the things. They twist series of issues for people. When Ambassador McCarthy said that it was nonsense, just as Volcano said, he said that they were not making sense out of what the US government has done, spent all the money and given you the facts and given you and taking an taking a stand that these three men and some of the people in your government will never come to our country because we have found out that they are just very corrupt. They don't love their people. They don't love their country. And these guys, the Liberian people hearing that, the first thing is, the first time was they said, oh, it is not America that makes love for Liberia. These guys have done nothing. Let America bring proof. But there has been, according to what he said, since that time, there has been no official request from the government of Liberia asking America to just help them. We want to investigate this thing. Government has not done it. But at the same time, the president, knowing very well within himself that it is that what the ambassadors or what America did, there must be some truth in it because in Liberia they say where there is smoke there must be some fire. I mean, where there is smoke there must be some fire somewhere around there. They know he was talking the truth. George Weah got convinced. Because apart from the American government saying it, he has heard from people how McGee is stealing, how Beltrawo is stealing, how Serrano Seaford is also stealing. He has heard all of these. I don't think anybody pressured him. He pressured himself, and he decided to ask them to resign. That was already a step he took forward. And for them, knowing very well that whatever the American government has accused them for, there must be some truth in it. Within their own hearts, they knew it was the truth. So they submitted themselves and decided to resign. They wrote their own resignation letters, and George will accepted it. But then there comes Liberians. Oh, America doesn't make laws for us. America is not the one who's going to determine this. Advocates, the opposition came in and said, well, will these people be eligible for election? Can they contest in the election? Because the election law says that people who have the kind of thing cannot contest. But then Liberian people come in again, as much as they are educated, they come in and say, this is not America. It is not, that's not the Liberian government that has accused the people. It's the American government. It's not the Liberian government. So they excuse them. The same way we'll stand today and say, Charles Taylor is not in jail because of what happened in Liberia. He's in jail because of his intervention in Sierra Leone. So Liberians are standing today. If Charles today, I hear so many people say, if Charles Taylor comes from jail today, we'll elect him as president. So that means because whatever he did in Liberia, they have forgotten about it. But let's come back to this issue. The Liberian people must understand, and now the whole thing has gone to the election commission. It is left with the election commission who will tell us. But they have already cleared all of these people. They have cleared McGill. They have cleared Bill Trout. Now, it comes back to the Liberian people. Those same Liberian people who are causing the trouble. Is there anybody who is going to challenge it? It's left with the Liberian people to challenge it. And then, do we have trust in the justice system? We can challenge it today. It goes to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court come and tell us the same thing that has been in the street. That these people were not accused by the Liberian government. There is nothing in the laws of Liberia that these people have committed any crime. So they are allowed to run. So we don't trust the Supreme Court system. Even though people should test it, we still believe that the Liberian government is not ready. Our
All
own
right,
Liberian are the one who killing us.
let's go to Alfonso. Alfonso, sorry, I muted you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Good.
No problem. The guys wanted to take the whole day and keep me out, but that's okay. Real quickly, um, the ambassador's apology about use of the word nonsense. I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people have hung on that word nonsense, and I'm happy, even though the ambassador said it was a wrong choice of words, he put it into context. He said he was saying it's a wrong choice of words because of the way Liberians take it, not necessarily that his use of it was wrong. I myself would have actually said to those people that what they were doing to undermine the peace of Liberia was nonsense, and maybe I would have used an even stronger choice word. But he being a diplomat, he being a foreigner, decided to clean it up. I would have used words, and I would, if he was asking me for advice, I would have told him to use harsher words. Because those guys, what they're doing over there, don't deserve any respect. They don't have the credibility to question somebody for using the word nonsense when they can't even account for. There are a few things the ambassador said. He said Liberians that work in the embassy pay taxes, and they wonder every day where their money is going to. Isn't that more of an insult than nonsense? Insult to the people who pay their taxes and can't even get drinking water. The streets are crowded, dirt full in the streets, and you're making noise about somebody saying you're doing nonsense, and we're supposed to give credibility and credence to that. All right. The other thing he said is political parties nominating sanctioned officials, and you mentioned that, political parties nominating officials who the U.S. Treasury Department put a lot of money into investigating. To do what? It's not going to benefit the United States or the Treasury Department. It's to benefit Liberian people. So say these people are taking your money, stealing your resources. They have the money in this place, that place. Go after them. So A, you correct your system, and B, you get the resources back, and you're able to use them for yourselves and your people. Then they go around and he corrected another falsehood. They go around and lie and say, "Oh, we asked the U.S. embassy, and the U.S. embassy says it's okay for us to nominate them." And he clarified that nobody asked them, and they would not have ever said yes. Go ahead and nominate them. Again, another lie and another major point that needs to be made. He also said, if the Liberian government makes the right decisions, great things will happen to Liberia. If your government makes the right decisions, great things will happen. And then he bemoaned, he was frustrated. I think Moses, you mentioned with that when he said, if voters wish, however, to elevate to public office these people, then it's in your hands and it's on you. Americans will not come to make your decisions, but then it's on you. And when you're ready to suffer tomorrow and cry tomorrow, don't be asking America, don't be asking other people, because we would have played our role. And I think those are really profound points, and I'll stop there. One quick thing. One other thing he corrected that I think we again is being missed in translation is that after he traveled the country, he said let previously he said in his previous press conference, he said legislators spent $65 million on themselves. After a review of the report from the Ministry of
That was
Finance
good.
Development Planning, he corrected that. He said, no, it's not even 65. 65 even small. They spent $90.8 million on themselves. Compare that to what's in the budget for agriculture. $6 million. Compare that to what's in the budget for healthcare, $73 million. Compare that to what's in the budget for education, $93 million. So 103 individuals in the country, 30 senators and 73 representatives got $90.8 million. Our entire healthcare system got 73 million. Our entire education system got $93 million. They deserve to
And
be
for mental health,
people. Yeah,
$30,000. And for
exactly.
mental health,
Mental health,
30,000.
$30,000.
And then you got these kids now levitating on couche and bouncing around the
Mhm,
place. So that's enough for that. We go to the
mhm.
next one because we're running out of time. Let's go for Spoon Network quickly. Um, it says here the government of Liberia disassociated itself from this closure of the network. Accordingly, Mr. Ledger Hood Rainey, who is the um, Minister of Information, spoke on behalf of the government, said that Mr. Smith, in his lawsuit that came following his dismissal from the Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services for administrative reasons by President Weah, rather, the station used its network to defame his reputation, characterizing him as a criminal. Gentlemen, we know the story. We know how Lages operated. We know uh, the monies were misused, and that is why our censors went to Iraq. One of its former commissioners, or director general deputies rather, Alex, the guy who took the spoon, lamented some of the things that happened behind the scene. So how can this guy not say? I mean, rather say now that he's suing because his character is being defamed. Why did President Weah dismiss him? Why was he removed from the position in the first place? Wasn't it because the noise was made about corruption, about money being misappropriated, misused? Gentlemen,
So now I want to go first on this one.
that's the clean why
Yeah,
Spoon Network is being shut down because
yeah,
a private citizen feels that his character his character rather was defamed by the network. So that is why
yeah.
the network is shut down.
I see
Through
this as the long arm of the government. I don't see this at all as a private citizen suing the spoon. And here are my reasons why. Before the court moved ahead today to close Spoon, we all heard the chatter. We all saw on Facebook. CDC cop called for Spoon to be closed down because they felt Spoon was critical. A number of other CDC officials, and even at one other opposition personality, Mona Fahad. I also saw posting for her said Spoon should be, well, let me not say Mona Fahad, honor her name on Facebook. But before that, there were a number of government officials and CDC officials who were calling for Spoon to be closed down. As late as what, few days ago, CDC COP issued a statement saying Spoon should be closed down because Spoon was critical and Spoon carried Jerome Verdio's allegations against City Mayor Koji and that, and they never apologized, nothing clarified, so they should. Then today, a lawsuit that was filed 2 years ago, according to government, is somehow resurrected, and then you go and close down multiple media institutions. My understanding is this this young man sued for defamation for $1.5 million, and that the case was filed maybe a year or 2 years ago. How did we get to the point now?
Well, it
Because
wouldn't
first of
be two
all,
years ago because this thing took
okay,
place toward
by
the end of last year, I believe. Into
yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, so probably close to a year ago. Here are a few things here. Before before recently, when 2000 or 2002, when George Weah signed the new law, the KAK Abdullah Kamara freedom press freedom law, we have criminal libel in Nigeria. So journalists and media institutions, journalists could be sent to jail, media institutions should be closed down because on our criminal libel law, they could be prosecuted under the criminal law. That law was changed. Libel, defamation are now civil. So you don't just take people to jail, you don't rather just take them to jail for that. That's the one thing. And that grew out of the Table Mountain Declaration that was signed in 2007 on the island. Then President Weah himself, as I said, signed the Freedom Law. Did we, was there a judgment? Was the court or were the court officers acting upon a judgment? And they were, if they were acting upon a judgment, how did they determine somehow that all of Spoon Network radio station and television are worth $1.5 million? Did they ever go to court and find Spoon guilty of of libel? If they did, this is simply a civil case. So you don't go and shut down five, six radio stations and television stations because somebody went to court and sued them. Then let's look at the other thing. Who is this individual that brought this suit against Spoon? We all know too well. It happened all over the world. It happened in Liberia many times. That all the government has to do is say, we don't want to go and burn our radio station. We don't want to go and close it down. So you just go sue them, and then we'll support you and use the law to close them down. So there's a lot to be desired here in that explanation given by Ledger Who Rennie, and unfortunately in the report by Front Page. Part of the reason that that law, the press freedom law, was even passed was because Ronnie Sear of Front Page Africa was sued by, what's his name? A farmer named
Christopher Toe.
Christopher too.
Toe,
Yeah.
and he was sent to jail under the criminal law. That's why everybody fought for that law to be repealed. That's why it's sad for me today that Front Page Africa is coming and saying, "Oh no, the government hand is not in it," and this, that, blah blah blah. But I'll stop there to give everybody else a chance to speak.
How about you
I,
go?
will-
We'll come
I
to
would believe that the government will always throw the stone and put their hands behind them and act like they are not part of it. They they are making Wilmot Smith to take advantage of the weakness of the judiciary system. Why? Because I still remember it is the LCC that had these allegations on Wilmot Smith. Spoon Network is a media institution. They broadcast from reliable sources, sources that are very credible. And the government is a new source. So if a government institution comes up with something like this and the Spoon Network decides to broadcast it, why can't George Weah or the government of Liberia sue media institutions when George Weah comes from wherever he travels and they decide to broadcast? Is it because it is in their interest of promotion? They don't sue people. So why are they suing when it is a government institution that did either malign or accuse Mr. Smith of what he did? And there was somebody who was an insider to Mr. Smith or to that institution who was providing more information and appeared live. Now, why can't Alexander Williams or whatever his name can be sued? When we say government wants to be part of it, what they did was they decided to withdraw Alexander from it. Gradually, they are taking him out of it. If you hear, just recently, I heard the same Alexander Williams who has said a lot of things about Jefferson Koji. I saw something in Front Page Africa. He apologizing to Jefferson Koji that he did not mean what he said, that this and this Jefferson Koji should be like a father to him, and he has done a lot of kindness to him, and he regretted why he had to say that. You know, so if the front page, if I just believe that if Spoon Network even want to bring Alexander forward, he will not make it. He will never avail himself as a witness to whatever had happened. He will say he did not say it. But why would the government be chasing somebody, or why would a private citizen be trying to sue someone for something that is coming from the government that he represents? And a statement was made against him in the name of the government. Closing down radio stations in Liberia, it's not really a new thing. It happened during the time of Samuel Doe. We saw it many times. Newspaper writers were jailed. It happened during the time of Charles Taylor. I was a very, very, very example of it. I am an example of it. When this morning I woke up, I was listening to the Spoon Network guys who were in the studio at the time broadcasting their program, and they were trying to argue with the guys. I still remember at Star Radio on the 15th of March 2000, I had just completed reading the news that morning, and I had a program person just pick up from me when I saw one police car enter the studio. The next person was the late Paul Moba, who was the police director at the time. The first thing he said, Abu, you got to cut off this broadcast immediately. The government has sent us to shut down this radio. And I asked him, well, do we have any writ? He said, I'm the writ. You know. So as we went out, they went in just how the report was this morning. The police went in, they vandalized, took our little recorders, took few things that they could take and put it in their 10 packet trousers packets, and they all walked out and they marched us out of the building and they locked the gate. That time it was no court. So this government is trying to throw the stone and put a hand behind it and say, oh, it's a legal matter. It's a private citizen that is doing it. It is not the government. The government is aware of it. The very ledger who is talking about it, he is aware of it. He knows me. He is aware of it. They discuss these things and they implement it. But we
Let's hear
know
from Moses.
I'm muted. Okay. Thank you. Lord John, Joe will file the lawsuit. Mr. Smith. When someone occupies
Just be
public
careful
position.
before the Bansu issue room tour.
Oh yeah, I'm willing. We are willing to go to court on that.
they were doing it here.
Problem is that when someone becomes a
I
public
know. I mean,
official,
Volcano,
it
that you do
means
with catch when you go to Liberia for the election, that you do hold it. Sorry about that, Greg.
yeah, yeah. So John, man, what I was saying is that when someone becomes a public official, it means the person's life has become an open book. Whatever the person does become news. And for Mr. Smith to claim that he was libeled or slandered by front page army from by Spoon only because it reported on what is already in the public domain. That's what I can't wrap my head around. Volcano. And audit was done by the LACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission. And that audit report indicted Mr. Smith and others for dishonesty alleges. It was predicated on that audit report that Mr. Weah, the president of the Republic of Liberia, asked him to step aside. So if everything you are making reference to is true, then where's the slander?
Mm-hmm.
The anyone make us story? Is this falsehood? Is Mr. Smith telling us that Spoon went and created this story? Is this Spoon that runs the LACC? Was he not in government? Was he not accused of dishonesty? So I just can't wrap my head around. It's so incomprehensible that we have a legal system that cherry picks. Oh, Volcano is my friend, so we do everything to help him. When I'm Moses, then we look the other way. It doesn't go like that. This is glaring Volcano.
Yeah,
Mr. Smith has no case. He would never slander.
absolutely.
He's a criminal.
Yeah.
The records speak to that. The man can file a lawsuit against me. He's a criminal. The records speak to that. So what is happening, like Alphonso said earlier, and again, this is where I would beg to differ with my good friend and brother, Minister Rennie. Look, Rennie, I do understand. You have a real difficult job to do at the Ministry of Information. Legend who Rennie knows that what is happening is the making of the Weah administration. Mr. Smith is only being used as a stooge. They just put him in the front.
So let me add this quick.
Yes.
Spoon Network broke the story yesterday about some Israelis or foreigners in the country, and that they
Mhm.
were at the Farmington Hotel and they moved them to another location with Joy Howard giving 75G, to
Yeah.
sustain. That's why they're there. Accordingly, it's the CDC party that brought him in to help advise on the bid for a second term. Could
Yeah.
that be one of the reasons? And honestly, more to come, and Spoon has more to come. And so, listen, let's silence them on the grounds because here what it is. Spoon is still going on Facebook, and great that they cannot shut the network down on
Facebook.
Facebook. But the potential for the network to reach the downtrodden masses in the country through its radio stations and television stations on grounds is
Hmm.
what they are attempting or have succeeded to shut down for today, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Could it be
That's the
that more could
fundamental.
come on that's the reason why? Look, let's put some lid on this hot boiling water that is evaporating too much, because if
Yeah.
it continues to evaporate, more to come, and we could be in bad shape in our campaign. Come here, Alfonso. I see you nodding a lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let me
yeah.
hear
No,
from you.
I
I'm
just wanted to
agreeing with
wrap up
you.
quickly.
Oh,
If
okay.
John,
Sorry.
if you guys would just allow me,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to wrap it up quickly. So, what we are saying here is that whatever that is happening is the making of the government.
Okay.
Hmm.
Unquote, saw Council of Petra
Okay.
and made request that they wanted Spoon closed down. Jefferson Koji said Spoon should be closed down, and today Spoon has been closed. They call Spoon what, an anti-government media entity. So this is the working of the government. That the press union of Liberia has already condemned what happened. I had the opportunity of speaking to the national president of ASIA, the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, Mr. Joe Mason. I think he and his leader, they are doing their own behind the scene discussion. They are probing the matter, well, and I'm sure they're going to make a decision regarding this matter. I had the opportunity of listening to Mr. Spoon. He said, whatever that happened today, is not in any way going to allow Spoon Network to be compromised. He said the entity will continue to pay its employees even with this closure. In fact, they have decided to even go further in their advocacy for a better Liberia. The government hates Spoon because Spoon is exposing societal ills in the administration. Let me stop there and give it to Alfonso.
No, I was agreeing with Volcano and all of you here that the intention is basically to silence critical media.
Yeah,
Any media institutions that doing investigation and exposing them and not supporting their corrupt deeds, they'll try to close you down. And this is sad and this is critical and this is a violation. And I think every well-meaning Liberian, human rights, civil society, whether you hit spoon to your guts, criminal, not criminal, that doesn't take their rights away from them. This is a media house. If you support it today, when it comes around to you, don't say, oh, why they're coming to me? Because this is how it begins. This is how tyranny goes around. It doesn't stop at one institution. And I've seen a number of people out there today saying, oh, spoon, this, that, and blah, blah, blah. This is not about spoon. This is about the country. This is about democracy. And this is about all of us. Finally, what you guys said, guys, it's completely true. Here is what uh former, I believe he's former now, LACC boss Martin said when he announced the allegations after their investigation of again of Smith and other people. Um, Martin informed the Liberian people that Director General Francis Ray, his deputies Wilma Smith and Lawrence George violated several laws in the purchase of second-hand generators and the procurement of tablets for the upcoming census. So instead of buying good generator, go buy a generator.
yeah,
Then they inflate the figures and do all kinds of things. They buy five, they say we bought 200 and stole the money. LSCC investigated and said that's an act of corruption and recommended them for prosecution. How come a media house reports it and that media house is now responsible for
yeah,
libel? How did the court, was there even a hearing judgment? Is why did the court close Spoon? We need to know. Did they close Spoon down because Spoon lawyers refused to make representation to the court? Was it under contempt, or did they already pass judgment and say you're guilty, pay 1.5? If that is the case, did Spoon refuse to pay? So how you just go and close a people institution? Where's the due process?
Yeah. So
what I
let me
heard
this
quickly,
is quick.
I just
Okay,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
provide the information. What I heard, I don't know how reliable is it that a judgment of default was rendered in this matter.
Okay.
After the lawsuit was filed, a writ was issued against the former CEO Waterspoon. He was to appear in court. I'm not sure if he did, and so since he didn't show up, the court made a ruling.
Okay.
But given the kind of criminal justice system we have in Liberia, I mean, gentlemen, we all know that our criminal justice system is very corrupt. Very corrupt. Yeah, let me stop there.
So I
But
wanted
even
to
at
quickly
that,
add that I
yeah.
wanted to. Okay, go ahead. You
No,
want to
I
say
was
something?
saying even at that, if a judgment in default was rendered, then what you do, you move again to serve the person that you are guilty of XYZ and you need to pay.
Mhm.
When they refuse to pay, then you attach to their property. That's how you move. You don't just go and how. So secondly, all of Spoon property in Liberia, including the air, all of that is the 1.5 million.
And
Okay,
1.5 million.
but this is the point I want to make here quick, and I
Yeah,
want us to really hammer this quick before we move on,
yeah,
because we can't spend the night on this.
yeah.
We have a lot more to talk about. But I think we're at the eve of the elections, and Spoon now is becoming a little,
Yeah.
aggressive on digging and finding things to bring to the Liberian people that these people are asking for 6 more years. But look at what they're doing, and look at what they've done, and look at what they potentially can do. They're trying at best to win this election at all costs, and they're bringing foreigners in the country contravening what the Constitution says, that foreigners cannot bring the resources, they cannot bring the expertise, they cannot bring the whatever, the monies and so forth. And then you bring people in the country when we're approaching the elections. Why you didn't bring those people long ago and say, let us start coaching you to prepare you for this moment? You're bringing them now. But then the other thing here is that what it does is silent spoon on the local level, but then it elevates the pro-government radio stations on the grounds, like the Freedom FM, the King's FM, even the very Liberia broadcasting
Oh
system. I
yeah.
don't even trust that LBS is neutral here in anything, even though it is a government institution, but it's funded by taxpayers' money. And so LBS should be the most
Public broadcaster.
balanced, the most balanced for the people of Liberia. So that's what I'm thinking here. Let's close them down. Let's shut them down locally. So all that evidence and stuff, the people ain't got data, and who knows where at some point they will start creating problems like they did for the young man the other night. Don't start, will start doing all kind of thing. What they call the other one, Cellcom. The people will not
Yeah.
be able to get data and come online, so they won't. I won't be surprised. I am telling you guys now. Listen to me loud. That as we go to close up to the elections, I wouldn't be surprised that you will not be able to get on Facebook or on data in Liberia because they will only want what they're doing to be local. So
That's
could
right.
you see this as a as one of the attempts? There could be many more to come, but as one of the attempts to slow the pace down of Spoon Network on the grounds and give relevance and more authority to the local radio stations that are pro-government to expand and to do more. And I'm sure some people are jerry and happy right now with the situation because one of the major competitions in the country is now silenced.
I do agree with you, Volcano, because this is the beginning of tyranny in the country. We have been working on this for a very long time. They have been trying every way possible to silence some of the opposition support media institutions. Spoon Network, some of them were very happy when they heard that Witherspoon was going to court in America. They feared that that was going to dissipate his support for the media empire he has established in Liberia, but they could not. They couldn't do it. They were not able to do it, and there is no way. If there will be some people to come from there to come and testify against him, they want to do it, but they couldn't do it. Now we have come to a point where they, just as you said, they want to elevate let's say Spoon FM or Spoon Media Institution is the one that is really getting down to the people in the rural areas through their radio stations and their television network. All of the government, the pro-government institutions, they are not going beyond Monrovia. Most of them don't go beyond Monrovia, and people don't even listen to them. So the only thing they could do is to silence Spoon passing through the thing. And what they are taking advantage of, they are taking advantage of the law that has not been passed, that were not passed at the time, where the LACC did not have a prosecutorial
Power.
authority at the
Mm-hmm.
time, you know. So because they couldn't prosecute Mr. Wilmot Smith, Wilmot Smith stands today to say, well, there is nothing in the law that I was prosecuted to say that I was guilty of this. Those were all allegations, you know. So they come in with passing a judgment of slander or what, let's say slander against
Yes, no, no, live or whatever.
yeah, a libel against Spoon Talk because they were trying to promote something that wouldn't have been true that somebody else said, which they could. That's why they're taking advantage of. Because women's people always argue that there was no law or I never went appeared in court to say that I'm guilty of this. But Spoon FM kept talking about it and they kept promoting it. Now, government is closing them down. If we even start looking at things, let's put Spoon out. They have tried to get rid of how to call the other guy, Costa. He
Volcano
went
Coast.
through his own thing, he's going through his thing, and eventually his network that people used to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to listen to, nobody goes there this morning. Nobody goes there this time. poor Wakai sits down there and he's not really able to see how he can galvanize too many people to even listen to him. So he remains right in Monrovia there. So they have already shut that one down gradually. And now Spoon FM continues to be the one that is the only one. So as you said, they are actually trying to elevate EFBC, which should be a public broadcasting institution that government has never passed law on. And the other few ones who sit there and only insult people. And but I don't blame them. I blame the opposition that instead of hitting the main targets, they are hitting one another so that they gave an upper hand to the ruling party. So they have because of the upper hand they are giving the ruling party, it is taking advantage of it as well. There are many people in the ruling party who just throw stones and stand up. Ledger Ho would not say he doesn't know the team behind it. He knows when he was at Radio Veritas, when Charles Taylor was ready to close it, he will always close it the way he wants to close it in the morning, but in the evening we are open. You know, so he
Yeah.
should understand it. He is aware. And one more thing they are doing is that every time I don't know whether you guys have observed it. Every time that there is a media institution, either a radio station reporting from site or reporting on site, they have the means that they go there and try to jam you. They are jamming a lot of institutions. If you are listening to the program today, when they were closing down Spoon FM, a lot of institutions went there to carry the program live. But as they broadcast, maybe after 10, 15 minutes, you will hear they will keep repeating themselves, repeating themselves, and they were jamming them. And that one would go. When another one came in, it happened the same way after some time. The third one came in. I kept monitoring it, and that was just what they keep doing.
Yeah.
That's up so
All right,
far.
guys, it's 8 o'clock now. Let's move on. Uh, enough of Spoon. We'll watch the situation, and hopefully, pending on our subsequent broadcast, we'll discuss that. But Moses, I'm not sure if I'm able to play the clips, but I'm sure that a lot of people have seen it.
Yeah.
Had some technical issues getting the clip prep, and I couldn't hear it from each studio, even though Abu said he could
Okay.
hear it, but if I can't hear it from
Sure.
each studio, then I
I
can
can
comment on.
summarize it. Mhm.
But let's start. Let's start with the one that has to do with the
Commissioners
the
from
destiny.
LSCC,
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
destinies.
destinies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, President Weah designated three commissioners to the LACC. When an individual is designated, uh, the name of the individual or the name of the individuals are submitted to the legislature for a confirmation hearing. So, I think it was on Tuesday of this week. Uh, the three commissioners appear before the Liberian Senate. The current LACC, uh, a law was passed that empowered the commission to prosecute individuals who engage in criminal acts. And as part of that law, it is also indicated that when an individual, especially, and I think that's Article 6.14, it is stated in there, it says that when an individual is nominated as a commissioner, the person is under obligation to declare his or her asset as part of the confirmation hearing process. It means that before you can even appear at the Senate, that's the first thing you must do. Submit all of your academic credentials and all of that, and then you declare your asset before the office of the president can even forward your name. Disgracefully, the three destinies appear at the Senate. So I was very impressed with Senator Jonathan Segbe of Rewaji, and he put a question, a general question to the three nominees. He said, "Hey guys, have you read the act that created the commission?" They said, "Yes." And he gave them a copy of the act. He said, "Read section 6.14. What does it say?" And one of the nominees read and saying that, well, the law says that as part of the confirmation hearing process, a designee must declare his or her asset. And then his follow up question was, has any of you declared his or her asset? Everybody said no.
Because
And
they
he
don't have
went again.
because they
And
don't
he,
have asset, my man.
and then he went again. He asked, he said, okay, let's do it one at a time. He asked, have you declared your asset? The other one said, no. Have you? Have you? Have you? And then after the three of them said no, then
So one of them said it was in the process.
another gentleman said, oh well, my is in the process and it is on my computer. Delon said,
Uh,
look, man, don't waste our time. How do you appear before the Senate? The very law that you're going to, enforce, you are in violation of that law. Predicated on that, the Senate took a decision to discontinue the confirmation hearing. What I gather from that whole thing, Volcano, is that it just further exposed Mr. Weir's inadequacy as a leader. When before you designate or before you appoint people to positions, I'm sure the office of the president has a vetting committee. That vetting committee is supposed to know, oh, my man, we're sending you to water and sewer. What water and sewer is about? What does the law say about water and sewer? That's how educated people make decisions. The office of the president forwarded the names of those people in violation of the very law that created the LACC. And the senator embarrassed the office of the president, his nominees embarrassing, and that just further shows that as president, Mr. Weir does not pay attention to detail. He's not
But
meticulous.
interestingly here, Moses, this is not the first time that this
Mhm.
president has sent people over there. And I believe he just think that maybe if he's the president, they'll go through because we have dominance in the CDC. But what I mean in the CDC in the
Yeah,
legislature.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what he fails to understand here is that certain positions were enacted by law.
Yeah,
And irrespective of your dominance, you can't circumvent what the law requires for those
right.
positions. So in the case of the young man from Philadelphia, Darlington, Conley, what didn't they do? Even a woman from Maritime. So you
Yeah,
can't just push things down the people throat thinking that everybody going to succumb because you're the president. But like you said, do your homework. You don't just nominate people because of partisanship. You don't just nominate people because they are your tribal man. You don't just nominate people because they're from the southeastern region. You nominate people based on competence. When you're talking about integrity institutions as such, the likes of Tier 1 Gonglo should be some of the names that will come up. Or you could even tap Tier 1 Gonglo, even though he's in the opposition camp, say, man, I'm serious about corruption. And you one of the proponent against corruption. I need your help. I want to establish this institution to be so critical and integrous to the point that whatever decision they make is in the interest of the country and the Liberian people. Help me formulate this, committee and head this committee in the vetting process.
yeah,
That's what government would do with oppositions who are in the position to deliver. But everything must come from CDC. Everything must come from your decision. It doesn't work like that. Some of the things that happen in our country can be avoided if this president utilizes the opposition. In the case of the example I just gave, and I don't know if Alfonso want to weigh in on it, but you can just
no,
come and just throw
no.
anybody at the integrated institution and
As
think
a
that it
matter
works.
of fact, Yeah, as a matter of fact, the immediate previous LSCC boss, Councillor Martin, was removed because he was vigorous in prosecuting, investigating and prosecuting corruption. Because he was moving swiftly to ensure, to insist. He insisted, for example, because when the LSCC law was passed, it couldn't prosecute. He fought to change that provision of the law because the law said at the time, the LSCC investigates, then it turns all of its findings over to the Justice Ministry, and then the Justice Ministry can decide whether to prosecute or not prosecute. He changed that. LSCC is a tenured job. You're there for I think 4 or 5 years. He didn't because he was aggressive in prosecuting corruption. He was removed by the WIA government, and he's suing them, and he's going to the legislature saying that particular aspect of the law, his tenure was violated. So Moses, that's where I disagree a little bit. This is not about Mr. Weah not being attentive to details. This is about Mr. Weah and his government being deliberately corrupt, deciding very boldly and deliberately to break the law. As a matter of fact, Mr. Weah announced that people should not, disclose their assets publicly, that it should be done privately. When in fact the law says disclose your asset, and the reason the law says disclose your asset is so that the public knows where you are beginning. So tomorrow when you start driving a Maserati, we can ask questions where you got it from. Mr. Weah, President Weah told his officials that against what the asset declaration law says, that they shouldn't disclose their assets publicly. That's not that's not an attention to detail issue. That's a deliberate act of corruption to conceal stolen wealth,
And
and that's
especially
exactly
when he's the trendsetter, especially when
exactly
he's the trendsetter, because when you
absolutely.
are the trendsetter, you
Yeah,
you 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 want to you want to bring your lieutenants behind you so
yeah,
that everything is. If we
it's
can't
in
touch
line.
the president,
Yeah,
then we can touch the people behind. I mean, that's what it is.
that's what it is. So he removes a head of the LSCC who's aggressively fighting corruption. In fact, who actually brought the case against this Wilma Smith and other people, Water and Seawater, a lot of people, etc. Removed that man because he was aggressive in exposing corruption in the government, and decided to put these stooges in place who don't even care about respecting the law for the establishing the agency that they've been assigned to. That's because the president gave them the marching orders. And yes, Boy Charles, uh, my brother from the same county, thank you very much. But I believe those guys will go back and will get confirmed. You just name a few people, Volcano. There's this deputy minister at finance who I think they were asking her about what? Fiscal
She
or
said,
something.
Jesus,
Yeah, she
Yeah,
said
and
Jesus.
Maggie
I don't
sister,
know
yeah,
what.
that Maggie sister, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
I
what
think
fiscal or
Rebecca
something.
Maggie or something like that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
she's going to Ministry of Finance to be deputy for fiscal, whatever, and she don't know what fiscal means.
she
Jesus.
said
And
she
then you
and her church, I mean her
Yeah,
resume,
church treasure, yeah.
yeah,
are the most jobs she held. Can
yeah,
you imagine?
She was a
And
treasurer at
you
some
treasure
organization,
her
yeah,
church.
so
And
that
then
way
when
yeah,
they
she
asked
can
her
keep
the
the country
question,
money.
listen up, when they
Yes.
asked her the question, she said, Jesus. She
yeah.
called Jesus. I'm so- Man,
So
listen, I tell
this,
you, man, our
yeah,
country is
this
in
president,
You see, these people
Hello,
were
my man. See,
these people
Balo,
were
my man.
this president doesn't care for the laws of Liberia. This president has decided to deliberately break every law, to refuse to hire competent people in his government, and so the country is going down. It's not. It's deliberate. It's not attention to detail. It's not he made a mistake. It's not. It's not mistake. He just decides I don't care. I'm the king of this country. I can do anything, and nothing
and
will
I
happen.
like I like that point. Listen to this. The man comes
Yeah,
back from his 49 days of
yeah,
enjoying himself. The press asked him, he said, you asked the whole president that question.
Yeah, can you
exactly.
Whole
imagine?
president, so
Yeah.
the whole president. Yeah, I mean
They may
that thing,
they may use Liberian
That
parlance. What does it
that
call whole
mentality,
president?
Yeah,
Exactly. That mentality for Ghana, a full
as much
president.
power as I have, and you still
Yeah,
asking me
as
that
I
yeah,
have
question.
here,
whole president,
as,
What the
a
fuck
whole
is
as
that?
the
president.
whole president, I cannot question.
You see,
What?
gentlemen, right now the appointment of people, especially the LACC, it's not so much about the declaration of the declaration or disclosure of their assets. One of the guys said he has been there since August 2022, and it's almost 1 year. He said before he got in, he before he was appointed the first time, he declared his assets. Then they asked him, "Have you updated up to now?" He said, "I'm in the process. It's on my computer." This other lady from she
New
said she's from
Jersey.
where
She's from New Jersey.
She's from Temple University.
Mhm.
She was kind of very disrespectful to the senators. She thought she knew all. But what we believe in, what I see there is that these are the last rush of people. 3 months remaining. That's a 10-year job. So
Yeah.
whether the people vote or not for George Weah, they are still going to be there for the full 5 years that they are supposed to be there. Those are 10-year jobs. So you will see between now and the end of the up to the time of election, there will be a lot of people that will be nominated, and some of them it will be the new Senate that will have to take on them for what we
Confirmation.
call confirmation hearing. Because I understand the House will be closing like next week, and they're not coming back. Many of them will not come back. So George Weah will continue to be appointing people, especially to tenure positions, and those people will only be there to be modeling the waters. So because they will never go for confirmation hearing because there is no Senate to confirm them, but they will be acting. That's
Yeah,
what
but
we
at
got to
the
be
end of the day,
mindful.
when the real Senate comes there, rather that Senate doesn't have to confirm them. And the
Oh
same way
yeah.
the same way he used muscles to move other people from tenure position, what made you to
Then
think the
they
other
can.
government can do the same?
Yeah,
That
At the
they
government can
time,
can.
do
he
the
said
same
he said
if they find it
human resource directors must be acting as ministers.
but you hear what I'm saying, right? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 That's government can still remove tenure people if they found them to
Oh
be
yeah. I
incompetent.
mean, yeah.
I mean, there's always a
You
way
can be
out.
removed for a cause. Yeah, you can be removed for
So
a
Well,
cause. Yeah. Yeah.
if you were not confirmed, there is no need to even recognize you.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let's move to
We
the
can
next one
replace
here.
you.
So we
Yeah.
stay in the Senate. We stay
Yes.
in the Senate. The Liberia Revenue Authority Commissioner General Thomas Doe appeared to discuss the road fund money. Accordingly, this money that should have been collected is in the tune of $20 million. The money is still in limbo. Whether he says some being collected, but he doesn't know the amount. But just give a synopsis of what the conversation was, so we can go into the conversation.
Okay, so a few years ago, I'm sure all of you guys are already aware of that. The national legislature enacted a law that imposed tax on
But
petroleum
it shouldn't be
products.
it shouldn't be a few years ago. Didn't it start with the Ellen government?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah, that
started
was
with
with the early
Ellen.
years, early
That's
administration.
several
Okay,
years
yeah, it
ago.
was early administration. So they
Yeah.
imposed, I think it's like 30 cents or so on petroleum products. And the law empowers individuals who are sellers of petroleum products to collect the 30 cents on every gallon sold. So it means that if Moses Sandy is selling petroleum products, when he sells 100 gallons, he's supposed to calculate, multiply that 100 gallons by 30 cents and remit that to government. It's almost like, let me take it at this level. It's like the four of us here, we pay income taxes. So if I'm working for Volcano, he's cutting my money. He's taking, say $5 from my paycheck every month as income tax. Volcano is under legal obligation to remit that money to the government. Is not something that is negotiable because he's taking money legally, and that is not for him but for the US government. So it's the same thing with the dealers of petroleum products. The sales tax that has to be remitted to the revenue authority. So in 2018, representatives of the LRA, including some dealers of petroleum products had a meeting with senators. When they met, then it was established that the petroleum product dealers had not been remitting the money. They did a calculation, it came up to 20 million US dollars. Every time when you hear about Musa Belete, he's one of the guys who is really leading that list. I think he owed over $4 million. So the senators then gave a directive that, hey, LRA, why were these people formulate a strategies and come and report to us, at a given time where you are. Come and give us a status report. And so this week, again, they invited Mr. Thomas Dona, who happened to be the Commissioner General. And sometimes I get real critical, and Volcano, our people carry these titles, but when they appear in public, the way they conduct themselves, it can be so shameful and embarrassing. The senators invited the Senate, they invited the Commissioner General. He sat there, and this man should have brought a written report, but instead he decided to be extemporaneous. He sat there, flipping through papers, looking here and there. Oh yeah, the other man, oh, I think what, $1 million. The other man, oh, $2 million. So Senator Dillon said, Mr. Commissioner General, pause. So he stopped. He said, is that a report? He said, oh yeah, Senator, I came to explain to you all the status at which we are. So, but Dillon said, but I thought you should have brought us a written report. And anyone in leadership position, that's what you do. When they invite you for status report at that level, you talk to your people. Give me the data. They give you the data. The people say they have $20 million outstanding. How much have you collected? Who are those that are making the payment? Who are those that have refused to make any payment? You need to tell the senators where you are. But shamefully, Mr. Doe sat before the senators. He could not answer the question as to how much, since 2018, how much the LRA has been able to raise from the individuals who literally stole from the people of Liberia. That's not a debt. Those people stole. Musa Berete and the other people, I think Kalando is one of them, other guys literally stole from the
But
taxpayers of Liberia.
Even Elling has a company
Yeah,
with T. Nelson Williams, all of them. I think it's called
yeah,
Carnage or something.
yeah.
They're
All
all
these people,
all of them, all of them.
yeah,
They're not stealing from this country.
yeah,
The entire
sales tax.
the entire moment. Even in other ways, they found ways to steal from the country.
Yeah.
In every means possible. Every means possible. How can we hurt ourselves? And when I think about this stuff, it gives me the migraine. And the migraine is not because it's sickness, it's just the migraine of stupidity. What you're doing, you're not hurting certain people. You're not hurting Alfonso. You're not hurting Samuel Abu. You're not hurting Volcano. You're not hurting Moses. You're hurting the ordinary people who deserve more. Because these are the people now you're looking up to come October 10th.
Mhm.
These are the people who you expect to line the routes, the polling station, and make lines. Whether rain or shine, they need to go there and cast their constitutional votes. Those are the people you're hurting. But you can sit back in your air conditioner cars, live in your high fences, good homes, water tower, shooting your water to your tower up there, or your gallon or whatever you call it, your reservoir, call it that way,
Yeah,
and
you
you
live
have
in
pipe
B.
water in your house from right in your cocoon, and then you drive past, then you splash dirty water. What type of people are these?
Whatever country it is.
Yeah, what type of people are these? You just continue to steal from the people, steal from the country, steal from the
Yeah.
country. And the funny thing about it is that The people they're stealing from don't even give. I don't even know if they know they're stealing from them because it hurts me when I see these people right now running all over the place in different colors of what they call it, campaign T-shirts here and there, and then they sit in the, I mean, run around the street all day, but then they go home, barely can find something to eat after they have shouted the zigwe out of their stomach until they left a vacuum in and they're so hungry now.
Until the
All that
stomach
zigwe
empty. Yeah.
until the stomach empty, and then they go home, and then they got the mind to come back again and do the zigwe until the stomach empty, and then they're praying for miracle to happen. It doesn't work like that. These are the things that built the country. Tax collection. Today, as I sit here now, I have a little close to 2G to pay by October 31st. And this is a school district tax. I ain't going to
Yeah.
the school in the school district,
No,
You
you
got
got
no
to
tribe
right?
pay.
going there.
Hmm.
But I got to
You
pay
got
for
no,
it
you got
Yeah,
no
because
tribe
I'm a
going there.
resident. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm a
you have to
resident.
pay. Yeah, you have to
I
pay.
have to
Yeah.
pay.
Hmm.
Then after that tax, I have to pay the real estate tax itself.
Hmm.
Then after the real estate tax, I have to pay the county tax.
Hmm.
After the county tax, I have to
In
pay
the
the
state,
city tax.
then the
After that,
federal,
then I have no that working tax. I'm talking about property ownership. I
no
ain't talking
poverty.
about
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Having a
then
property, you
after
got to
that
pay all
now,
the
then
taxes.
Then you
Yeah.
have to pay trash.
Hmm.
Trash.
I come
Oh
to here
yeah.
now, sewage and garbage,
Hmm.
right? But if I didn't pay those things, who then will come and take the day? If I didn't pay those things, who will come and fix the road out here, the street, the main sewage line, all of that?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. They said the road phone. This money should be to fix those patches on the road. This
Yeah.
money should be to expand roads. This money should be to maintain roads. And then the commuters already pay the portion by buying the gasoline.
Yeah.
All you need to do, turn it over.
We made the money. That's all.
And
What's the dilemma?
the sad thing is that money is actually coming from the poor people of
Yeah.
Nigeria,
Hmm.
because it's not just the gas importers, because the gas importers added right on top of what the people are
The
buying
price is. Yeah.
the price of
Yeah.
gas. So it's
Hmm.
actually coming from the poor people. It's the poor people money. It's a tax on the poor people, and these guys are eating the money. And the performance, as you explained it by my little brother Dona, is just a matter of arrogance from those boys at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. They're just very arrogant. They don't even respect the institutions of government and of the country. That's exactly what it is. How you go to discuss road fund, you were invited. They must have told you. They didn't just say, come so we can
No,
ask
you're
you
not
questions.
impulsive. Yeah.
And you go without a report and you think you can be acceptable now to oh this person or that person. It's because they don't respect the institution. It's because
Hello.
they
They may
believe,
flipping. They may flipping through
yeah,
papers like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Moses sending oh $1.
yeah. It's because they don't they
Alfonso
think,
oh 10 cent.
yeah. It's
Maybe,
because they're arrogant, they think they know everything, or they
But,
maybe
think they know more than
but
everybody.
here,
It's
here,
he
here,
did not even have a record
but,
on it because this
but here,
road fund came about. It was only during early time that they really identified a particular amount to be
Yeah.
used for the road. But they
Yeah.
have been collecting that money a very long time ago in government. And how are they collecting it? Every time Musability and others buy the gasoline from Nigeria, or the gasoline is brought into the country from Nigeria, they get, if they bought it there for $2, when they bring it to Monrovia, the storage tank person takes 15 cents on that
Every
money,
gallon.
they add it to the cost of gas. Then the people who have the truckers, the trucking association, they take a certain amount, they add another 10 cents there. It goes to what the common man pays. Then the government will come in and say they take 30 cents. Then they put all this money together, they use to determine the price of gasoline on the market. Now, later on, when they found out they want to go to Ministry of Finance, because every time gasoline price goes up, even in Nigeria, maybe by just 10 cents, they still maintain the monies that they are collecting on each of them, and that makes the gas price to go up almost by 50 cents or $1 in Liberia. So when government jumps in and say, no, We can't allow you, if since you were taking 5 cents, why can't you take 3 cents? Why can't you take 4 cents? And this helps to stabilize the price of gasoline at a certain cost. Now, the one that goes into government say, well, let's use this one to be the rule form. They It's left with the auditors to determine how much is each importer or the seller at the pump, how many gallons that they are selling, because the amount that should go to government is what it's supposed to take and remit to government for the rule form. But this money is being used for different things, for salary, for trips, and maybe buying vehicles for girlfriends and other things.
No, Mr. Abu.
Let me, let
Yeah,
me
go ahead
propose it.
quickly. Mhm.
I mean, I think the crust of this conversation should predicate on the fact that Thomas Dona could not tell the Senate how much has been collected so far.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
reason why I say that, I
Yeah.
mean, you are a tax collecting agency. That's what the LRA is about. They
Yeah.
go around, I pay my property tax to the LRA. They go around collecting the taxes and send the representatives in the communities to collect taxes. People come to the LRA, make the payments, and they give you your receipts and so forth. So, on a consistent daily, I'm sure if they're running a robust institution, they the collecting department should be interfacing with the commissioners to say, hey, for this month, how much we collected from these
Yeah.
categories of taxes.
Mhm.
We know the road fund money, this is it. We know property real estate, this is it. We know business taxes, this is it. We know this one, this is it. And, and you have that information. So when you get called to the Senate on a particular tax, then you know that you're going to discuss in detail road fund monies or tax collected. You come prepared,
Absolutely.
you prepare the documentation, you hand each of those Senate Standing Committee members and say, gentlemen, let's go into the conversation. I handed
That's
it to
it.
you. What is it we need to discuss? That's how well learned, prepared technocrat people who are in leadership come prepared. You don't just show
Absolutely.
up and become extemporaneous. Then the man asks
And,
you, say,
And
"Well,
let me
sometimes
ask
you
quickly,
even
Abu,
send that
before you
report
come
ahead
in.
of time.
Let
Yes,
me
that's
ask,
how it
let me
goes.
ask
Yeah.
real quickly. It's again, I was saying arrogance and that because he didn't just go there. They didn't just call him. This whole thing, the invite came out of an investigation done by the Senate. By the Senate.
In 2018.
Yeah, the Senate Committee on the Senate Autonomous Committee on Autonomous Agencies,
Yeah.
headed by Dr. Henry Topper, did an
Absolutely.
investigation.
Yeah. Hmm.
And in that investigation, they said the LRA since 2018 has collected $116 million in
Can you
taxes
imagine
levied
that?
for the road for on petroleum. But out of that 116 million, only 80 million was remitted into the consolidated account. So where's the balance? That was so the invitation to Mr. Dornan was predicated upon that. He saw the report. The report was done by the Senate. Come and explain to us. You collected 116 million. Why you put only 80 million? Where the other 20 something million went?
You see the other people,
And how come you haven't even done it? So there are two things. Why haven't other people paid? And two, where is the $26 million on the 116 you collected and you put only 80,
18
80
million.
million in the account? Then
but
you go and say, oh, I don't know, you ruffling papers and things.
yeah,
It's
roughly, yeah,
it's
no,
it's it's disrespect. And
But,
I hope that the legislators knew their power
but
to
look,
say this kind of man would be impeached. He's not even coming here.
Well, it's a tenure position again
yeah, it's
No,
10 years. But he
it is
can be removed
tenure.
for a cause.
No,
Yeah,
for a
yeah, you
cause.
can be removed for
for a
cause.
cause. Yeah,
Lack of performance is cause.
it's a cause. Yeah, and
That's a very good thing to say. But what
mhm.
happens to those people who the Senate has said they lack confidence in them, and the president says nothing about it?
But
Because the Senate leaves the decision to the president. That's the reason why.
no, the authority the Senate or the legislature has is to cast a vote of no confidence. So when that vote is cast, then it is on the lap of the president to act. And given the men we have in the executive mansion, you will never get anything good out of Liberia
Yeah, if the
because
Senate
he's
was,
disinterested in anything that has to
yeah,
do with
if the
leadership.
legislature was aggressive enough,
Yeah,
however, if you
yeah.
in this America, if you listen to this, you'll see that even the Republicans in Congress are trying to impeach the Attorney
I mean,
General.
I mean, y'all
Uh,
hold on here. Y'all hold on, big up. Y'all read. Y'all read the one.
Remember JMB.
My man saying somebody JFU.
Is that what it means? Resemble him, or I talk like him?
Yes.
it reminds me of
Yeah, somebody
so
But look,
yeah. So there are a
uh,
number of things the legislature can do. The legislature can say we impeach this person. The legislature can use the power of the purse to say, I
okay.
mean, again, it's all theoretic. If
Yeah,
we
but
do this, we strangulate the agency by not something. If you don't do what we told you to do today, when you bring your budget, we'll cut it or we'll
yeah,
not send money to that agency. There are a number of things if the
the more thing they
legislature
can
knew
do,
their
yeah.
power and if they're exercising the power, there are a number of things they can do. Unfortunately, we're not there yet.
So, quickly, Volcano, from my end, what I pick up from that, as a professional person,
just pause
I
that thought.
think,
Just
yeah,
pause your thought. River
sure,
says, Paul, if you need a call, just go ahead and call. If you need a call, go ahead and call. You know the number. Continue, Moses.
okay. So, as a professional person, what I saw, uh, Mr. Doe disgraced himself. When you watch that video, he did not come across as an educated person. Do you know what it means to be referred to as Commissioner General? And you're sitting before lawmakers or data that's supposed to be at the tip of your finger. Like Volcano was saying, you don't know how much you are being able to raise within a given period. And they did not wake you up. They say, oh, come to the Senate right now. You were told what months in advance, Volcano, that there will be this hearing on this date. You Commissioner General, Republic of Liberia. And the man sitting sitting in the Senate chamber, conducting himself as an idiot. Oh, I never expected that you were going to ask me such question.
Ah,
You
You go to the
Commissioner
top, you
General?
go to the top of money, you say you expect
Oh,
my man,
and
my devil could be
Senator,
the record.
the other question you asked, I never expected it, and I just can't throw any number at you. Dylan said, what? What are you talking about?
I call you the throne number.
I'm
Let you have
asking
a
you for
Rosette
a
Pro.
report.
Moses, you continue. Let you have a Rosette Pro.
Man, shameful, man. Yeah.
Rosette Pro.
Every
Yeah, what's up, my man? Welcome.
yo, I'm pushing cartoon, man. We got a beautiful policy. So we actually jump into some of these things. I think there is too much, but I just look at the discussion point
Uh-huh.
and I go back home and I listen a little bit of it and I start fire. Yo, that's how I do it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
sometimes be a little bit off track, but you know.
go ahead, my man. What you say?
So yeah, so my thing about the Stanton thing, for kind of I don't hold those guys at higher esteem as I hold you and Moses and Sis Martha and some of the Hassan Kiel and some of those great journalists that I knew when I was growing up, back in the day. Those guys they are pundits. They're not professional. And then moreover, I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, why the government get involved?" Government, it is the responsibility of the sheriff in a civil suit to execute a judgment or seizure or closure. So I don't know when people understand civil matter, I don't know what comes to the mind. They think civil matter is free of the government. It is not. I mean, let's look at a rental property or eviction. Eviction is a civil matter. When we kick you out of this place, you put all your things out. The sheriff. When I came to the United States, I didn't even know that. My neighbor they put all his things in the street. He got mad with me. Why you didn't take my things to go touch him? He thought I took some of his things. I said, I'm not used to that. I don't know. We don't do it in our country. He said, oh, really? I said, yeah. I said, we hustle our landlord. When he come in, we run away. We slip through the window. That's the thing that what people used to. That's how they want us be. I told him, if you do this particular thing in our country, you have a big protest all over the place. I told him. Recently, he said, oh, wow. I said, yes. I said, that's the system. People live here in the United States. They see it. But when we try to execute over there, oh no, they will. I mean, they will call a national protest. So my thing is, it is the job of the sheriff. Yeah, it's a civil suit.
Hold 1 second. Let me put this caller in queue. Just hold 1 second. The caller from Rhode Island, 8737. Please hold. I'll come back to you. Please hold. Let my first caller finish up his point. I'll come back to you, caller.
All right.
Go ahead, River says.
Yeah. So to conclude, people need to understand. You know, when you fail to comply in a civil suit, the sheriff, if you in the United States, if you go by the law, I always go to my state library. I mean my county library, Milwaukee Public Library. I go there and read. I got library card. People can laugh at me. Yeah, I'm an old school. I got library card. Go there and read. It is the job of the sheriff. That's a responsibility of closure, feature, all those things. So Liberian people need to know that. So when they keep saying government should not get involved, they are wrong about it. So thank you for having me. I'll continue to do what you guys do. Like I said, those guys on school, they are not licensed journalists, but you guys have accountability. There were accountability when back then. People can say anything they want to say now. When you are pundit, you are not most times you're not responsible to a particular media institution. If you for CNN and you do something, CNN will punish you. But when you are pundit like Rush Limbaugh was a pundit. What happened to Rush Limbaugh when he said something derogatory towards black people? Wow, he lost his sponsors. That's the worst thing that happened to him. No media institution picking up because he was not responsible to any media institution. So that's the difference between being a pundit or a social media pundit and a licensed journalist. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, River says. Let's go to the caller from Rhode Island, 8737. Welcome. Your name?
From Livingston.
Oh, Flomo, welcome, my man. How you doing tonight?
Good, good. I mean, great show, man. I always love the show, man. Again, I want to speak on the standard case. All right, our case, I believe, government hands is in our case. Definitely, no one can just tell me that dude just took upon himself and do that. Again, the hypocrisy like that in the liberal in some liberal community, man, it's bad. I just listened to my brother, Reverend Pro. Few months back, you were praising Stanton and the Spoon TV when they were promoting ANC Mr. Comey, but they feel that he just went against them. If we really want to go for like Bremen, we have to be objective, man. Just start to be followers. Because because he doesn't agree what Spoons is saying. They feed it, so he's the same guy was promoting for Spoon to be close because what Spoon is saying. And we shouldn't be doing that. We should have a press freedom. I mean, I believe in press freedom. Whether you say something against my candidate, you should be able to have that right as a Liberian to speak your mind. And because not because you're saying something against my candidate, I should be in favor of closing your station. It shouldn't be like that. I think we all, should be willing to express our freedom of speech. Not so we should start promoting, closing someone's station because the person is not speaking something in favor of your candidate. You want a station to be closed. It shouldn't be like that. I think we should promote press freedom. That way we all can listen to different view, different opinions, and not just one side. At least that way we can be able to learn. That's one of the reasons why I love this station. At least you guys speak your mind, be objective. You don't have specific candidate that you guys just support and stuff like that. That's just my 2 cents. I just wanted to say about our kids.
Thank you. Thank you, Flomo.
Volcano, if I may clarify for 5 seconds.
Go ahead.
So we're not saying here that it's the government because sheriffs went there to execute the order. That's not what we're saying, Rivers. What we're saying here is, the totality of the events. They say Wilma Smith sued. That's why they want to close the station. When did Wilma Smith sue? When did the court pass this judgment against Spoon TV? Why are they enforcing it now, one day after Spoon or basically exposed them, saying that Israelis are in the country doing this? So you got to look at the circumstantial issues, and that's what we're discussing. When I say we know sheriff implements orders, court orders, etc. So that's not what we're saying. I just want to make that clarification.
Yeah, yeah, so true, so true. But when you look at everything here, gentlemen, we about 60 minutes away, and we got one more topic to go, so we can get to our humorous
Hmm.
segment. But this last topic here is the reason why we see these things happening. Somebody said instead of the opposition holding together, they are so much at each other's throat, and as a result, they don't even know how to look at when the government is acting on its own behalf or when the government is acting, you know, against oppositions. The closure of Spoon Network, they continued infighting within the opposition, this camp against this camp. And I was listening to something the other day, and that's why prompted me to ask Moses and Alfonso. I didn't get to you, but I said that I'm afraid that as we go to elections, and it doesn't matter, it already clear here that President Weah is only about Southeasterner and seditions. You can count by your 10 fingers people from the outside, and the people from opposition that own President Weah. It is the arrangement he made with the people who supported him, including the Ellen. Those are the people that he committed to keep on. The Eugene Nangbe who kind of flip flop, right? The
Sam.
other man called Bazon got Finley, but he left. The Sam Wulu man who Jefferson coaches say we're gonna move on him. He can be double dealing. The Kura guy who from MDR that
Those already out.
for go. So it tells you already see what is happening with the ruling. But then when you think about the opposition, so we're seeing here now that the fear is if Alexander Cummings become president, does it mean now that only ANC people, because then the Unity Party people ain't got no place? Then when the Unity Party people become president with Baka, then it seems that though the ANC people then will have no place. I don't know about Gonglo side because he ain't saying, I see them going back and forth. But just the two people that feel that they are the next in line, So the three major opposition parties, the CDC ruling government, the ANC, and the UP, all this fighting, it tells me that when one group gets the power tomorrow, Moses, if you're not a part of that group, you're on your own. Because that's what it
There you
sounds
go.
like. That's what it sounds like. Because people have already started to fight for their position. Some people already want to be press secretary, or some people want to be like the Colasco of the day. Some people already want to be the Finabondu of the day in the ANC or in the UP. Some people want to be the Nathaniel McGill. I want to be the state minister closer to the coffers of the president. People already looking in their camps and seeing the way. So, how possible would there be a coming together to say, all right, we'll take the man from UP, we'll take the man from ANC, we'll take the man from CDC, even if CDC lost? Tell me now, gentlemen, because that's what I'm afraid for the country. The country gonna always now going forward have one-sided leadership. And even when people are so incompetent, yet they will hold on to those positions for 6 years and keep the country regressed, as we're seeing now. And I'm seeing it's going to happen because with all the divisiveness, I'm telling you, gentlemen.
You see, the country has been divided on so many fronts: men against women, educated people against the uneducated ones, the live ones against the dead ones, those who participated in the war against those who did not participate in the war. But at the same time, there is a population that still continue to feel that Liberia must be Liberia. And Liberia must always be the first. But now, at this time, the infighting of the opposition Unity Party behaves as if they are already they are only fighting CDC because they are fighting for first place ahead of CDC. And CPP slash ANC, they are like fighting for second place. I don't know, second place to Unity Party or second place to CDC. So when they start going at each other's at one another's throat, it becomes something difficult for us to really understand. Just as we said the other day, why are the leaders in these political arrangements not talking to their supporters and tell them in the end, Liberia will have to be Liberia. We don't have to wait until the 10th of October before Liberia be Liberia. Because at that time, it's going to be very difficult to bring in people. Just as you said, Volcano, there are already people acting in those various states. There is somebody who is already there acting like they don't want Mark Atumo to no longer cook for Joe Baka. They're the one who's going to be cooking. There is somebody who will be ANC camp who is going to say, oh, before Cummings goes this place, we will have to approve of it. They are already having their own ESP.
Yeah.
You know,
So Mariah Yakula is the office chief of staff. That means she's the incoming state
Yeah.
minister.
Minister of State. Yeah.
Minister of
Yeah.
State. That's
So,
it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so these
So
things are happening.
if,
Why
if
can't
Unity, I'm coming. So if Unity Party and ANC were to say, all right, let's merge,
Yeah.
let's go, and
But
let's
fighting
support
will
it.
not be easy, my man.
Then it would not be easy to take Mariah position and give it to UP. You know,
Yeah, Mara will say I
or
got a law
or,
degree.
or our man, or maybe one of our
Kabakole.
men.
Jake Kabakole?
Yeah.
Okay. So like Jake and Yakula will be fighting
They will be
for state
fighting.
minister.
Yes.
You see,
You know, and these things
that's
are
one.
happening. And once it continues like this, we are giving the upper hand to CDC. So CDC will deliberately continue to be hitting at us so that we'll start fighting. CDC hit and put a hand behind it. You turn around, you think that ANC talking, then you start fighting ANC. You know, spoon closure today. That is a breach on democracy and press freedom in everything. Now we expect ANC to be coming out with statement. We expect Unity Party to be coming out with statement. But
But
instead,
Unity Party came up with a statement. Joe
no,
Biden made a statement. He denounced it, yes, and the government saying that he's using it to score big. But on the other hand, we have not heard from ANC.
yes,
No,
ANC will always follow.
no, Mr. Abu,
Yeah.
just let me provide information on that, right? Like Volcano said, the ANC, I can tell you, and let them prove me wrong. The ANC sees Spoon Network as an opposition media network,
Opposition to them.
opposition to the ANC.
Okay.
Have you not listened to Monel Kishan? Have you not listened to most of the diehard loyalists of
ANC.
the ANC? They say terrible things about Spoon Network.
Okay, so Flamor
Terrible
Livingston
things.
said they are in support of the
So
closure. But let's
yeah.
also I
So
wanted to ask
ANC
you,
will never support or condemn what happened
Condemn.
today. No.
but
They
then
are
so,
happy. They are celebrating.
but again, I want to be honest. Yeah, let's say now why then what's her name, Francine Chenoweth, is still there propagating the ANC's agenda.
I
However, the
mean,
days when
she's an
Yakula,
individual. Yeah.
I'm coming when Yakula and the rest were enjoying the merriment and the marriage with the Spoon Network when
Mhm.
ASC's agenda was being propagated. When they were arguing instead, and only Kev Hassan was there defending the government. You know,
Mhm.
so at what point now that Spoon Network has become the enemy? Is my thought here because all of these people came to prominence, to social media prominence through Spoon Network.
So this is the anger
When
volcano.
you turn your back on this guy's network, irrespective of Witherspoon and his personal
Yeah.
situation, but let's look at the network and what the network has done for the Liberian people. There's no perfect situation here, but all of you were one day in the in the limelight, enjoying the spread, because Spoon Network, like or hit it, is the biggest network
It's the biggest, yeah.
in all of Liberia
That's
in
not
social media.
debatable. Yeah, it's the
In social media,
biggest.
is right.
The point,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
let
think the
me
point.
finish quick. Let me
Sorry.
get finished quick. Ovia
Mhm.
hit it. They brought a lot of you to prominence. You were nobody knew of you. So at what point now you want to turn against this network, especially when you've benefited and you still have a representation on the network in Francine Chenoweth. That's what I wanted to put up.
And that's an important point. But what I want to add is, any any political party, any political leader, any public figure who is not outraged by attack on the media does not deserve to be a public figure, does not deserve to be in leadership. Democracies, the foundations of democracy are based in a free press, because it's the free press that gives the citizens the opportunity, the platform to participate in government, to accomplish the ideals of democracy. That's we don't got individuals can't go and stand on the street and start screaming and yelling their ideas to their government officials or to their representatives. They do that through the media. That is the reason why the media is referred to as the fourth estate, the estate of society that gives the citizens the opportunity to participate on a daily basis in the running of their government, in decision making and in influencing policy. So, as you all said, I'm still waiting for even the statement from Mr. Weah, who signed the press freedom law, Mr. Cummings, hopefully Councillor Gonglo. I'm waiting for all of those people who are presenting themselves for leadership of Liberia to stand up and condemn this action and any attack on the media whatsoever, whether you believe that this media institution is in your favor or not. Because A, these very people were equally attacking Mr. Samuel Doe yesterday when he was burning down closing the Observer. These very people were attacking Mr. Taylor yesterday when you were closing
Radio.
ELCM and and all of those institutions down. Rightly so. But the point I'm making with all of these is that what goes around comes around. If you don't condemn it today because in your favor, it will come to your backyard tomorrow. And so we must hold these people accountable. They all must come up. Whether you believe Spoon is in your favor or is not in your favor is not the point. The point here is that freedom of speech, freedom of the press requires that they must operate without intimidation.
Yeah,
Look,
absolutely. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, I would say that we have spoken enough on the issue of the communication. Let's come back to the question that Volcano posed about the divisiveness, amongst opposition politicians and their supporters. Uh, the ANC strongly believes that the Unity Party should not be given the opportunity to ascend to the presidency of Liberia because, according to them, they did it worst when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was president of Liberia. ANC believes that it is the most credible party that should be given the opportunity. I've heard ANC people say they prefer the CDC to the UP. Now you
Wow.
tell me that if you have people who consider themselves die-hard loyalists of Mr. Common, not saying it in private, but saying it publicly, that we prefer the CDC to Unity Party. What happens tomorrow when you go to second round? This election is what? In order to be declared a winner, you must be able to what? Accumulate 51%
No,
of the votes.
50% plus
Yeah,
one.
50 plus one, right?
Yeah.
You must be able to accumulate that 50 plus one. So If other than, because we have what I think we have over 40 political parties now. I was listening the other day. Over 40. Everybody gonna get a little share. Some people will get 2 votes, some people will get 5 votes, some people will get 300,000 votes, some people will get 100,000 votes like what coming days, a few years ago. Some people will get there. So at the end of the day, what happens? Somebody will have to sit and talk. The Volcano, we think you are closer to power. We always rally around you. But if I say I will never work with Volcano, and Volcano is at that level. If Volcano does not succeed, then they are indirectly telling us that they want the CDC to continue to hold Liberia's progress, at the lowest level. That's what's happening. When you hear the Gonglo people, they're attacking Unity Party people. When you hear ANC people, you don't hear any of them attacking the CDC. It's all amongst themselves. Oh, Gonglo
And
is a poor man.
that's the irony of the situation here.
Yes,
That's the disconnect. These guys are
they're not
cussing each
getting it.
other. They are at loggerhead in the
Yeah.
opposition, and what it
Mhm.
does, it benefits the ruling
CDC,
party.
the
So
ruling
why
party.
then you decide to formulate political parties with same agenda items, the same purpose, fighting corruption, fighting this, doing that, and yet you are so divided on the outside. Listen, uh, and my projection, what I said was the closure has to do with this election and where we're going now, and too much spoon will be able to give to the ordinary of voters.
Yeah,
Somebody wrote me behind the scene, they're not willing to come on, but it said that the government is aware. The government is aware.
of
And one
course.
of the questions asked was if Spoon was operating a cement factory. You didn't know we're closing down? No.
No,
They only closing down because why? Other than building. If Spoon was operating any other thing, they wouldn't shut it down. But it's shutting the voice of the people down. Because the more that Spoon is able to give to the downtrodden voters with evidence, with facts, it puts the campaign, it
in
puts the
trouble.
chances of power in jeopardy. And that is the reason. Let's do it now. Let's muddy the water now. Let's hold them down now so that by the time we get to elections, it'll be water under the bridge. We can do what we want to do and we can win this election. Then hopefully they might come back and make a loud noise while our 12 years is loading. They want this 12 years at all cost, no matter the circumstance. And if it's to silence the people's voice, the people's voice, that's what they will do, and that's the intent. I mean, it's just plain simple. You can't go around it because Spoon has said some other things. Spoon has exposed some other things.
A
Why
lot.
at this point now, so close to the finish line? Why at this point?
Yeah, Mr. Abu, go ahead.
Right now, if we continue to listen to the CDC, everything they say is about the 12 years, the 12 years, the 12 years. And it is an onus on the opposition political parties to see how they can hold them down. And holding them down, by the way, trying to use the media at the most opportunistic way. Because many of these media institutions have their correspondents in all of the various counties. The CDC media groups are not outside of Monrovia. Even George Weah radio station, they call King FM. He doesn't hear when you are how to call the place at Jamaica Resort. You don't hear it. You know,
Where is it located?
somewhere
It's on
downtown.
Ashby Street somewhere there. But listen, I wanted to add this quick before I forgot this. I believe that the information given by Spoon Network yesterday regarding these foreigners in the country, I
Mm-hmm.
They
think it
exposed them.
was the information that broke the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh yeah.
I think it was shocking to the government. It was shocking to the insiders of the government. How in the doggone world that this got out there? How? And the Liberian people now know, so their eyes going to be all over the place. So how much more will this guy be able to expose in these coming months?
Yeah.
Let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. I mean, there ain't no other
Look,
way you can go around it.
that is the fact.
Like
Because
I
if there
said,
was any court ruling against the Spoon Media Institution, it would have been a long time ago. If they made payment plan or there was a judgment of default, why they did not come down with this decision a long time ago?
long time. Yeah.
Something must have been the one that broke the camel's back.
But you know the
That they
interesting thing
decided to
too?
spoon him. They must go to
Yeah,
the
but
court and do it immediately.
here's the other
Even when
interesting
they
thing.
took it there, even when the sheriff took it there, the head of the institution, the CEO, was not there. And then I think I heard someone say the CEO is not here to sign for it. You can go come back. But they went with the intention of closing it down because I know there are many times, even here in the United States, that they come to issue a writ. The court personnel come. They don't meet you. They go back and try to come there at a time that they can meet you, or they come, they will leave a notice that they came.
But
So
listen, here's
when they
another part.
decided to take the action, something must have been pushing them.
This the funny thing is this government always does something and try to cover its track, but the people who come to cover the track don't know how to cover track. That's the problem. They always shoot themselves in the foot. You can look at the different instances of issues that has happened under the government's watch, and the government tries to exonerate itself from it, takes itself away from it, but then everything comes right back to the government. Like for instance, the unexplained death, right? The way they
Yeah.
made the cases, or how these people die. The man shot himself 3 times. Who should have
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
One
It's
shot,
not
that's it.
possible.
You know. Then you say the people there were doing man and woman being on Broad Street,
Yeah.
but it's also beach saying we're all in the car.
Because
And,
it's carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
yeah, but the people they not die from smoke or carbon monoxide
Inhalation. Yeah. Yeah. You know.
inhalation, yeah, because they were there when you put them in the car and left the car running, so they couldn't hold anything in their lungs. So okay, so how do you plan these things and I mean you can't do water side planning yet? Eh?
Math
You know,
can't work, my man.
how
My
do
man,
you
the
do water
math
side?
can't work by Volcano.
So
If
so
people try to do the
Alexander,
math, it can't work.
Alexander says that it was not Spoon that broke the news, it was out a week ago, but Spoon capability, Alexander, to spread it.
To lift it
The news
a
can be
higher
broken.
level,
Yeah,
more people
it's
hear it.
news can be broken just in a circle, and people it leaks out here. But when a platform as big as Spoon and this network takes it and spread it, then it becomes more pervasive to the point that everyone gets to know what this news is about. So yeah, we understand that. But
Yeah.
gentlemen, I think enough is enough. It's 9:08. Um, we had a jam-packed one. I would say right here now, to be honest, we we got more work to do with
We
what is
have a lot of
happening.
work to do.
Somebody said, President, we will close the issues room down.
Yeah. They have to come to Delaware or from Philadelphia.
Oh, the man can call Mark Zuckerberg. You see how the man is doing it? They hacked it. They hacked it. We done for the night. Oh. We'll be passing around.
No other
Hold it.
boy that will start hacking all where it comes, my man.
Yeah, but man. So,
But look, on a more serious note, what is happening in Liberia, I can tell you, it's an out of desperation. Mr. Weah and his people have all concluded that things are beginning to crumble around there. And that's what happens The four of us on this podcast, we know what happened in 1980. We know what happened in 1990 when Monrovia became a no-go city. We saw how things started falling apart. What is obtaining into this Liberia is a reflection of those things that happened many years ago. Today, it is boom. But the question I would like to put to Minister Rennie and all the others in government, President Weah, where's Joe Tate? Where's Harrison Penham? Where's the late Dr. Doe? Where's Mana Zeke? Where's Ase V and all the other guys? Where are they? Where's Charles Taylor?
Ase Musa.
Yeah, Ase Musa. Yeah, you know, Paul V. Yeah, Paul V. Ase Musa. All the other people. Where are they? Sobandi, Melvin Sombandi. Where is this guy Momojiba? Where is he? Yeah, Benjamin Yetin.
Running away from his own country.
Yeah, Roosevelt Johnson. All these guys we're talking about. Where are they? Jefferson Koji. How long is it going to be? It's just a matter of time.
People say the man are president for life. You said matter of time.
My man, even if they give Mr. Weah another 6 years, it will just be a matter of time.
I said
Jefferson
president for
Koji
life.
is a replica of Harrison Penham during the early 1980s.
Let me stop there, John. Man. You guys continue. I was just asking these people.
Yeah, but listen. So we close it now. I'm looking here. I didn't see anything latest from Manet, so he didn't send something here for the last one was on 99 steps. So probably he will have one for us on Tuesday. But anyway, gentlemen, listen, it's time to go to what type of country is this? As I said, I couldn't get the theme to go through connection, but this is the humorous segment. We'd like to welcome all of you. We see the number very high. Don't go because this, after all this serious discussion, we're about to put it in the context of comedy. So we want you guys to hang with us. Come in, put your chats in. Let us know what you think about what type of country is our country. And honestly, I tell you, Moses Sandy, what type of country is this that the government always takes action, but it doesn't calculate the repercussion, and then it want to hide a hand?
Yeah.
What type of country is this?
But it won't hide a hand, but a hand leave outside the door.
The people say you use somebody here to take your palm down, right?
What type of country is there? Volcano Shelton invited JMB and he didn't tell his listening public.
I mean, let me put a man solo by Biggie. Let me put a man solo so the people can see the man.
Mr. Abu looks the
Volcano.
I know you Joe I know if you Joe M. Baga the 10 or the second.
I've been to programs that people walk to me. I've been to programs and people walk to me and ask me, "Are you Joe Baga, brother?" not only in Philadelphia, in other places. I went to Minnesota. Somebody saw me and they told their family that Joe Baga was in town.
Now look at Joe Baga. Look at the issues from Joe Baga. You see the
at least I don't carry pacemaker.
The issue room has a Joe Baga tonight. That's our guest.
But Alphonso, do you know that if in the past where you have those presidents who do that double because of their bad behavior in the country and they can go to certain place to send a double, they make it be used for Joe Baga, my man.
Joe Baga operation.
That's how Flazameton shot the something couldn't go.
Yeah, but you know what? We will pray for you, Mr. Abu. Very soon,
I
at
mean,
least,
just because you look like a man, when you see in that position to be Joe Burger double,
my man will be our advocate. Or if anything happens good, at
let's
least
see.
the issue room will be blessed, my man.
Shaggy McCaffrey, what type of country is this that Abu can pass for JMB? Can I please get your autograph?
Well, Mr. Abu, that's it.
What
Yeah,
the, what? Okay.
You know what? I need to find JMB picture and put it right next to
And
it,
put
man.
it side by side.
Yeah, I tell you, let me find one of JMB picture.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Muslim. What type of
Volcano, have you ever thought of that?
What? What?
ever
what?
one?
You ever thought of me looking like him?
Yeah,
Our
you look, you
JMB.
got a lot of, yeah, yeah.
After
That's
Shaggy
awesome.
said it, then I actually saw the resemblance.
After
Yeah.
all the number of years you've been knowing me.
I never made a comparison.
But
What
it's
type
coming
of country
closer.
is this? Sorry.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
What type of country is this? The boss of the LRA don't know how much taxes he's collecting from the people. Yeah, revenue authority man don't know how to collect.
Yeah, how much they have generated from,
Wow.
for the road fund, my man.
What kind of country is this that all the people of the Anti-Corruption Commission cannot have
Declare
their
asset.
assets declared?
But the man
What
ain't
the
get
fuck
asset.
is
Is it
Man
more,
say,
is
I
it,
ain't get no
is it
asset.
more commission than for before they bring it?
it?
I ain't get asset. Y'all put me there, then I will acquire asset.
Yeah. What type of country is this that we have a president who nominates without even paying attention to details?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you see that, Mr. Abu?
The guy looking
Yes,
young.
sir.
The guy looking young.
Yeah, when he was much younger than, yeah.
You see,
JMB.
hey
Yeah,
man,
that man, brother.
let me
Yeah.
move us from the screen. Let me move us from the screen so they can get bigger. We'll see. So I guess that's the best we can go. So look at the mayor and look at the other mayor. Look at yeah, look at like my man. No way around it, yeah.
I know. A lot of people
My man,
say
you know what? We'll be using when JMB become president, we'll use you to be going to representing places. Though.
The man will be our envoy, my man, to the executive mansion. Yeah.
What
So
type of country is this? I got some here to go with quick, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just pass. Let me go through them quick.
Mm-hmm.
What type of country is this? Tamosawaji. I don't even know what to say anymore. What type of country is this? So my people, ego. Didn't know what to say anymore.
What
When
type
I
of
thought,
country? So the man exhausted, my man.
man, exhausted. What type of country is this that Henry Costa thought JMB went to the meeting in Ghana, but it was Abu. Oh, you know, that's why
That's
he
why
can't
we
find
can't find the 30 minute.
They thought I was JMB that went, but I said no, Abu. What type of
something
country is
who
this?
went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of country is this from a Livingstone that an opposition political party is in favor of the closure of Spoon Network? What
Yeah.
type of
What
country
type
is
of country is this? Yeah.
when the closure is done by the government that you want to remove, but you
Yeah. What
celebrating closure of the other? Yeah.
Yeah. What type of country
Alexander
is this?
Hayes. What type of country is this? The government hands always caught in the cookies jar and never try to exonerate themselves. They
No,
don't.
they don't.
They don't. They don't know how to. What type of
No.
country is this? Aku Joseph Koma, where people who cannot stop hunting for rat but refusing elephant meat.
What type of country is this?
Adiaha Umbo, what type of country is this? That the whole crew of Spoon TV Live went to Liberia and met with the president, and today they have become enemies.
What type of
What
country
What
is this?
country is that?
Yeah.
What type of country is this? That was a good one. Shaggy
Yeah.
McCaffrey, what type of country is this? That all the LACC officials are corrupt before they even get there.
Say that horrible. How
What type
can
of
you
country
be?
is this? 3 months before elections, the president means support-based Southeast health works or workers are planning a go-slow strike.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yesterday morning.
Really? I think they will
Whatever
send somebody there tomorrow.
one of the Hayes, where all the corruption King Kong moved into one party and wants to rescue the country. JMB. Wow.
Poor.
They were-
What type of country is this?
The same as Abu is supporting you to be JMB VP. Yeah, we're going to be nice.
The two brothers, oh.
Then the country will just die. Oh.
Yeah, the two brothers, baby.
The
Whatever
whole Lord
country is
JP
this?
so much that when he even passes, his replica will be there.
Whatever country is this? That cry for press freedom, but yet and time again they shut down
So
press freedom.
Yeah, what type of
Whatever
country is that?
country is this, Flomo Livingstone, that the mayor of Pinsville is not doing anything about the mountain of trash in the Red Lake area? Whatever country is this?
Yeah.
Thomas Awaji, where people will steal another person's cow.
Yes, there was this story about a cow that was stolen.
I heard people talking about the cow.
Was it really stolen?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
cow was stolen.
No,
Yeah.
the cow went astray and started going to communities. The police decided to kill it.
So the people killed it.
creepy.
Yeah.
So they killed it and
Whatever
decided to
country
eat
is
it.
Yeah,
They said
but whatever
the Maria man said, when I go to Mali, it takes 3 days.
And the community started raising money to pay for the cow right away.
whatever country is this? When the finance minister Samuel Tuwe said the president should be a benevolent dictator, and it is happening now.
Yeah, what type of country
Whatever
is it?
country it is.
What type of
Absolutely.
country it is? Have you guys realized that they got more reverends running in the political race in Liberia?
Really?
Whatever
Go
country
back
is
and
this?
check the list. The reverends.
Let me read these, then we'll discuss quick. Whatever country is this when the former VP refused to make Mr. Abu his double?
What type of country it is? Because he has not been approached on it.
Whatever
When they-
country is this
Your
when they
child
kill your child in jail?
and jail you. I think meant to say jail
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
Viewer Harris, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Making reference to Gloria
When
Sky,
they kill
yeah.
your child, then they jail you
And
for
jail
killing your
you, yeah. Mhm.
All right, that's
What
what she
type of
meant.
country is this? We don't even hear the police director nor his entire staff talking. Only
Yeah.
low hill people.
Yeah, what type of country is this?
You don't hear the police director.
Whatever
You don't hear
country
the
is
justice
this that
minister
the
talking.
largest mass media in the country gets shut down 3 months before election? Spoon Network reached more people and places than ERBC can reach.
Hmm.
So shut
So,
it down. Shut him
yeah.
down. So that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Shut him down. You would-
Yeah,
you would
shut
think.
them down, yeah.
Let's do a little depiction here of the situation in the Senate. You are Thomas Dona. I'm Darius DeLong. Alfonso is what's his name? Jonathan Sigwe.
Yeah.
Samuel Abuda or Pape. That Pape was trying to be a little sympathetic. That Pape in the blue, I enjoy. He was trying to
Oh yeah, like Pape from Grand Crew.
yeah, so he's like
Nimne Batikwa.
Yeah, that particular.
but
Yeah,
the man was sitting in the chair, Thomas Dona.
Yeah.
So let
No, they got some guys in the Senate. When they see things going against you, all of a sudden they can turn it around to
Yeah,
suit
to
you.
help you
Like
out,
I
yeah.
happened to the public works group.
Yeah.
So
So
was it-
where?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you hear
You Thomas Dona, right?
no, you the one gonna be
Okay,
flipping
I'm
your
the Thomas
paper.
Dona,
You
right?
got a photo right there in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what got the
Yeah, honorable.
Yeah. So my man, you came to
Um,
make the report. Did you
yes,
bring
sir.
any document for us?
Yes, Senator, I brought my photo.
But I
And
say for
then,
us. I say for us.
Yeah. No, honorable, that's a report I'm making now.
But you bring no report for us to be able to follow you when you're talking. You just come with your hand swinging.
No, honorable, I will explain that why I'm here.
So that
I
your
bring no report.
so that your explanation who should listen to. That it
Well,
won't material.
honorable, you're sent for me, so I came to tell y'all what happening at the LRA. We're making our
Ever since we sent for you, we sent our letter. You acknowledge you received the letter a while ago. So then you just come here, you were passing, you decided to stop.
yeah, but
Oh, you
honorable,
came to-
you see my file. You see my file. I got all the people inside here. You
Okay.
see, And you see the other mayor that Musa Berete, I think over 2,000 or I mean 2 million. And the
Uh,
other
Oh, you
mayor that
see,
Kalano say he will pay only 400,000. The other mayor that Aminata, Aminata, they said they will work with all the make payment arrangement. So right now we're working with them, honorable.
but wait, so you can't tell now. Okay, so all the money you say the other person pay, the other person pay. Tell how much now to not collect because we need the money. That rainy
No,
season, we got to
honorable,
face
I
the
don't
road.
know. No, honorable, I don't know. I don't have that number right now.
wow. So you collect money and you don't know how much you collected. You don't even know who paid and who didn't pay, Mr. LRA director.
No, that is not what I'm saying. We're collecting money, but it's just that I don't know the total amount that you're asking for. I don't want to give you any number that is wrong, but I
But
don't know.
but the one you reading
Who
over there, that how much?
Well, Honorable, when we came here in 2018, we made arrangement, and we know that $20 million we're supposed to raise, but we reached out to the people. Some of them say the money we're talking about is too much, so
Mm.
we made payment arrangement. You see here, the Musa Berete. You see, I
So
think
do
it's a
you
little over.
hold on,
Is
hold it
yeah,
right there. So you
yeah.
make payment arrangement with taxpayers. Did you make payment
and how
arrangement
will
with
you
it?
and how will you
Did you?
make payment arrangement when the
Yeah,
money was already collected? That's what we're
already
asking you
No,
here.
collected. So
but
you making payment arrangement with the people, the poor people who own their houses, who you collecting taxes from. You making payment arrangement with them too, or
no
only the?
honorable, no honorable. You see, the honorable law. All the thing we are telling us to do now, that tax we're collecting here. He
Yeah.
also will go and shut the people down today. We'll go do it now.
Hmm.
Then I seen that brain people will say, "Oh, LRA finish shutting the businesses now."
Okay, so hold it right there. So the arrangement they made, if they don't pay, what you will do? You make new arrangement?
No, honorable, I'm telling you, we're working with the people, we're working
Hmm.
on something. But
Hmm.
it's just that I
But,
don't know
let
how
me
much you
understand
want me to tell you.
But
I
something.
that's
don't have
something
that
you're working
number.
on that it will make a rule.
Mr. Commissioner General, Mr. Commissioner General, let me make
Yes,
this
sir.
clear. Y'all
Yeah.
take us for a joke. Y'all can take us for a joke. Some of the
Yeah.
other
No,
CDC men,
Senator.
let me finish before I hold you in contempt. Don't
Okay.
interrupt me when I'm
Okay,
speaking.
Senator. Okay,
I'm in
Senator.
office now. Let
Okay,
me make this
Senator.
clear.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Darius Dillon.
Yes, Senator.
Okay, all right. So I want you to know that. Let me
Yeah.
make this clear. Y'all come here, y'all take us for joke. The other CDC people that will take you for, y'all can take for joke than not us. Y'all got only 3 months to be in the thing here. You hear me? 3 more
Yes.
months.
Yes,
Government
Senator.
will be gone. Then you
Yeah.
hear you collect the money you talking about, or you know how much you collect. Eh?
No, but
I will
but
send you to
honorable,
jail.
we're collecting money, but it's just that the number you're asking for, I don't have that one now.
So who has it? Where will we go to find this number?
But what I'm telling you, I said when I get to my people, I will tell you, but I don't have it. I don't want to
So we
lie.
invited you 2 weeks ago to come. You didn't get to your people.
We're talking about it, but you say I should come so that why I
Mr.
can.
Chairman, we need to hold him in contempt.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we're talking here,
No,
you come
no,
with two papers in
no,
your hand,
honorable,
asking
honorable,
for
honestly, honorable,
money. They
I respect
you
the
answer.
Senate that why I can here, but it's just that the number you're asking for, I don't have it. So
I move that
when
we
go
hold
back,
this man in contempt and charge him $5,000 a day until he comes back with the report.
I beg you, honorable.
Yeah, I
We're
think that what we
collecting
should
the
Okay,
do.
I think
money.
I let him go to the common jail for
Yeah,
48
No,
Yeah.
hours.
I
yeah,
beg you, honorable. We're collecting the money.
Let Jay the
You
man to
know,
Watanga base.
yeah. Okay, you know what
I
time?
beg you, I
They can
beg you,
call it
honorable.
common
Where,
jail.
I beg
where
you,
death?
I
Let's
beg
say
you,
you know what
honorable.
Tanga, where death is better than life.
Yeah, honorable. To collect money and not easy, honorable. We're doing the work. We're doing the
Wow.
work. I came here to tell you, and you say I'm a report. You see the man,
Mr.
that
Chairman,
Kalano.
Mr. Chairman, can I come
Hold
in?
on now. No,
Yeah,
hold on, honorable member. So
yeah.
why should we keep you in a position? Because you appear incompetent to us.
Yeah.
We sent for you with all that information you can't with only two sheet. You can't even tell us how much you
But
have collected so
but
far.
honorable, that the report I gave me you now. That the
But you
report
tell
I gave me
me.
you.
You will not
Mr.
tell you
Chairman,
what Musa did. Oh,
Yeah,
hold
but
on,
I'm
hold
right now think that why I
Mr.
explain to
Chairman, the
you.
man appeared to be unprepared. So I moved that we give him a few days, let him go back and come back with a full report, and let the report be here by 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. If
Thank
it's
you.
not here, we can hold him in containment and let him go to common jail.
Thank you,
on. Okay,
Senator.
all right, all
Thank you,
right.
Senator.
So
The
get
Yeah.
up
man
for
must
info.
go to
We
common
want to
jail
see you.
today, man. Let call the sheriff. Let the man go to common jail tonight.
I beg
No,
you,
let
Senator.
let's find out our message. Jerry, you're telling me all right here. You're telling me.
I beg you,
Women,
Senator. I owe you for.
what wrong with it? What wrong with the CDC government official? They just can't play with us here. You think that because you think we compromise? We're not compromise.
No, Senator. No,
Can't
Senator.
prepare
Senator,
and
I didn't
can't
come here
prepare.
to disrespect you, but it's just that, Senator, the number you're asking for, I don't have it right now. I don't want to lie, but we're collecting the money.
All right, go find that number and come here tomorrow. Let's go back to what type of country is this? What type of country is this? Aku Joseph Koma, where budget is performing on the paper or in the mouth, but running
But
everywhere to borrow money to pay workers. Musa Fufana,
yeah,
he says the hypocrisy is too much in Liberia. Imagine ANC and CPP celebrating the shutdown of Spoon.
yeah. Can you
Maggie
imagine?
McCarthy, what type of country is this? That the citizens who are the cow went to immigration and asked them to not let the owner go
No,
to
no, go to
Mali
Mali.
because they feared they were bad. So the Malian cow, yo, so
The
that's
man
the
brought a car, yeah, a car, so you remember not go back.
You might not go by the Mario.
what type of country is this? The president returns from Israel and asked about Jesus and said, I don't see Jesus, but I walk on the places Jesus walked.
And you can see Jesus through me.
Yeah.
I think that's why he said that you can see Jesus through
Just
me.
like, can you imagine, my man?
What type of country is this? That Moses Sandy is in the wrong field. Every night he comes here, he's a five-star actor. Great job,
Great
Moses.
job, acting, Moses. Thank you,
What type
sir.
of country is this? Where his professional actor is sitting as an anchor man. You see? My man.
Thank you, sir, Arizona.
Oh God, my man, not easy,
Yeah.
man. What country heading, my man? That
What
will
kind
get
of
his
country is this? Before the American ambassador leave, he calls the whole group.
What type of country is this?
Well,
What
gentlemen,
type
great
of
show. We got a rapper. It's 9:32. That's about
yeah,
three and a
Yeah.
half hours. Let's
yeah.
call it a
Thank
night.
you.
There's one thing we got to do, Jeremy. I
Hold on.
told you, the Reverend then took plenty, all of the political parties that run that
Okay.
contested the election.
I mean, everybody want to go into politics and
Yeah, my
government.
man.
Grace man said that, Reverend.
Yeah. But do you know that Cecilia Coffee Brown is now a VP pick?
She,
Oh,
she,
She running with a gentleman. She resigned. She resigned on Thursday.
and she Reverend too.
Yeah, she resigns.
Yeah.
From the woman from the housing authority. She
Mm-hmm.
so
resigned.
Yeah, from the Freeport.
No, she resigned from the housing authority
Oh,
as managing
so,
director. She's
so
a
she
VP
was once
pick.
at Freeport and then she went to housing
Yeah,
authority.
she's a VP pick now. She's running along with one other gentleman who is running as independent candidate.
I think they were on this morning, right?
I listened to a report on Spoon.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
My
She's
man,
a
let's
VP
not
pick.
open the whole Pandora box. Let's go one.
Yeah.
Listen,
Nyati is
listen.
also a Reverend.
Mhm.
Let's do our 1 minute around the room and close. So everything we talked about here tonight,
Yeah,
as the closure of Spoon is one of the most significant, I would say, in honesty.
yeah.
What do you think it does for the Liberian people, the downtrodden masses, who are gonna miss at least something as an alternative in the context of media presentation?
So
My own thing I would want to say is that the Liberian people,
This is just 1 2 minutes. We gotta
the
go.
Liberian people must stop the hypocrisy. Any strangulation on the media at this time is not very healthy for the democracy that we're moving towards. Democracy is not just about having election every 5 years, having political parties contesting election, and having people expressing themselves without hindrance. But I believe that we need to educate ourselves, that we try to be moving forward or moving ahead of what government is planning. The closure of this institution is a beginning. Pretty soon, in the next 1 month, you will hear another institution will be closed down. Or else they are going to start saying those institutions that are supposed to be registering or renewing their registration, many of them are not going to be renewed because they will say, oh, we are in election time, we're not going to do it. But Liberians must hold themselves up and believe that democracy goes along with free press, because if you do not have an unhindered press, you are not going to be enjoying your democracy. So we ask Liberians to stop the hypocrisy. Let all of us condemn the closure of Spoon Network, because tomorrow it may be your own institution that you like to listen to. Thank you.
Alfonso?
Democracy is defined as government by the people, for the people, and with the people. And that is only accomplished through a free media, free and vibrant, independent, credible media. So again, we all should be outraged at what's happening in Liberia. Any attack on the media is an attack indirectly and even directly on democracy as a whole.
Thank you.
And I would say that, just to piggyback on what you guys said, that democracy and free press are inseparable. No society thrives in the absence of a free and independent media. The decision by the we administration to shut down Spoon TV, or Spoon Network, that has emboldened Liberians to further turn to the opposition. It was a miscalculation. Mr. Weah should talk to his advisor. What it did today was a miscalculation. This is a victory for the opposition. So the CDC is crumbling. I would like to pause there.
Well, from my end, I say that it's unfortunate. We don't think that if the CDC government is doing right by the people, they have anything to fear. I think that's my position. If you are doing right by the people, then you have nothing to fear. If the if Spoon Network presents information that you have evidence to refute, that's the way to go. But again, closing Spoon down in Liberia, if Spoon continues to operate on social media, there will be people somewhere, somehow, that will listen. And some of those people, it take only one man to just put a data on a phone and sit down in the attire center. Everybody watch the show. So you're not gonna start everybody at the same time, right? One man can take a cell
I
phone
tell
or a
you,
tablet, data on there and sit down, and
he
he
said,
become the
man, you don't watch the show, yeah.
watch the show. So there are many alternatives. So the government needs to start thinking about what it needs to do going forward,
Absolutely.
because this is not the right route. You never mess with the fourth estate.
No, you don't.
Anyone who is not, if any government that is not a friend of the media, you are doomed. You are doomed.
Absolutely.
And when I say friend, it doesn't mean that the media must support you. The media must propagate your agenda, even if it's wrong, because the media is being sustained by you. I think the mutuality, the relationship must be at a point where it's mutual respect and regards for each other. And that's the way I look at it, the relationship between government and media.
Absolutely.
Again, you said democracy is inseparable. Of course, government and media are inseparable. They are inextricably linked because
Mhm.
one is the newsmaker and one is the news presenter. And if you
Absolutely.
present good news will be given to the people. If you present bad news, it's the same. It must be given to the people. So that's how I want to rest my case. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all of you who watched us here tonight, to the panel. My brothers here tonight. Great show, great topics. We'll be back here on Tuesday by the grace of God. Uh, and we might be having a show from other state. I'm expected to travel, so we might be having a
So
show
wait
from
till
other
it,
state
yeah.
Tuesday.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you to all of you. Can't go down the list tonight. We've gone far, but everyone who showed up, we say thank you. Make the issue room your platform. Continue to like us, follow us, love us. We're here Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Friday. Again, we're established to enlighten the people of Liberia, to discuss the things that matter, to discuss the continent of Africa, and to discuss issues in the black diaspora in America. Mr. Abu, Mr. Sandy, Mr. Yano,
Thank you.
for Autumn, say
Thank you,
good night to.
guys. Thank
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 you,
you.
you.
guys.
Yeah, sure. Enjoy,